How you doing, Tsunami? Okay. Reno went live yet? Yeah, night. Okay.
Moving forward, we got.
All right.
Let's talk about the Eagles.
Moving forward,
Bear is hilarious. Eagles fans are claiming that this was a redemption game for Jalen Hurts. You know, after throwing, a million picks last week against the Chargers, he came back, went 12 for 15, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns, had another one of those drop, 39 rushing yards, and a 154.9 passer rating.
Oh, yeah.
Damn near perfect. It was an incredible day for Jalen Hurts. Fellas, did he remove all doubt? Oh, come on.
I think that offense is questionable until their season is over with. That is not to say it's all Jalen Hurts' fault, but I think just as a unit due to play calling, I think it's question marks until it's done.
It's the Raiders.
I got some important information for y'all. There's no better place to win cash while watching sports than Prize Picks. Football season is here and basketball season is here, so there's absolutely no better time to join. It's super easy to use. To create a lineup, all you got to do, select a few player stats, pick more or less. That's literally it. Prize Picks is available in more than 40 states, including California. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
He didn't remove all doubt, but he did what the hell he was supposed to do.
Yes.
Like Jalen Hurts did what he was supposed to do, especially against the Raiders team. We've seen quarterbacks play against Raiders teams. You saw how Dak Prescott looked against Raiders teams. You saw how literally every quarterback looks against the Raiders teams. You saw how Shador Sanders looks against the Raiders. So I would hope Jalen Hurts looks like he's supposed to look against the Raiders. Here's the most impressive thing. The Eagles played the second fastest game in the history of football against the Raiders. Why does that matter? They got in, they got out, and they got on with their life. You did what you were supposed to do, and you did it efficiently. Don't play with your food. Jalen Hurts only had to throw the ball 15 times. Now keep in mind, he only threw the ball 15 times. Why does that matter? Last year, Eagles started 2-2 at the beginning of the season. After a loss to the Packers, Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator, said, you know what? We're going to stop throwing this so much with Jalen Hurts. Eagles did not throw the ball over 25 times again the rest of the season outside of one time. I'm wondering, is this the same thing? Did the Eagles watch Jalen Hurts throw 4 interceptions against the Chargers and say, you know what, Jalen, we going to reel this all the way back in. 15 pass attempts for you today. That's another debate for another time. Like, why do you have to put a muscle on your quarterback's arm? Why do you have to put a governor on your quarterback? That's another conversation for another day. But as for today, Jalen Hurts balled, found A.J. Brown, found Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert dropped another one, found Smitty. Like, Jalen Hurts played
I don't know if saying we're gonna pass less because Jalen Hurts is mistake prone is the thing. I don't know if that's the thing. Or that makes Jalen an ineffective passer because they pass him more. I don't know. I mean, I think it's game plan oriented. I don't think it's necessarily Jalen Hurts oriented.
near perfect game.
He looked good to me. And I won't say he sounds all doubt, right? Because it is the Vegas team.
Yep.
But it's the way he looked. He looked really, really good. He looked confident and like they had a statement and a message to make. Because I've seen really good teams struggle and they play against a bad team and they struggle. I mean, seen that today with the Cowboys and the Vikings. But The offense looked really, really good. We ran the ball extremely well. The defense played shutout, like no points. And for Jalen, he didn't have to force anything. This is the model to win. Play really good defense, find ways to run the ball. And another thing we did, we took a couple shots deep. A.J. Brown, he might didn't catch all of them, but you got penalties, right? Now you get a 35, 40-yard game because it's a flag. Like, it's simple things that we can do to be a better offense. KP, I think KP had a really good offensive game plan today. Wow. Listen, all I'm going to say is this, yeah.
Okay, there we go.
You don't think so?
Is that the first time in recorded history someone from the Eagles representation in general has said Kevin Patullo did something good?
He did today. Look good, though,
okay,
right?
there we go.
So
like
I'm super excited for the future. I think we'll use these games, and I don't want to talk about the bad teams, but we'll use these games right here to get momentum, get some confidence, and then we get rolling into the playoffs. Like sparring, right? You got a big fight coming up.
Yeah.
Beat up on some of these weak dudes. Get that confidence together.
Yeah.
And then we get in the playoffs, we start rolling.
This is what they call
Playoffs where we won't see Care Bears team.
Oh, man, wow.
Yeah, they won't be there this year.
This is what my old country uncle would call a slump buster. You know what I mean? You're not doing too well out there. You gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta hit up old reliable. Because, it's a whole lot easier.
Oh, that kind of slump.
that kind of slump buster. You see what I'm saying?
No,
that's what it was with the Vegas Raiders.
Country. You help me out a little bit. I'm not a country boy at all.
How do I describe this? Y'all know what I mean.
Your mother's in the chat.
Your mother is in the chat.
It was a slump buster. The Raiders were a slump
He said his
buster.
uncle, so that's her brother. So this, what you trying to
Oh,
say?
wow. Okay, that's crazy. Essentially, you know what I mean? You lost your mojo a little bit.
Yeah. Gotta get some confidence
the
back.
good teams, you weren't really.
I can see that. I think it's like you need a Jets, or you need a Titans, or you need a Raiders, or you need a Cardinals on your schedule. Kind of the it's kind of like having a live scrimmage. We kind of need to see where we're at, because if we don't play good against them, then it's an issue. If we blow them out, okay, we looking right. If we skate by them, like barely win, the issue.
You weren't really getting those as much as you used to.
Yeah.
So you got to go get one of the bad teams just to get your hair right, just to get you back in the rhythm.
Right. Are you reading between the lines, Shady?
Yeah.
Are you reading between the lines?
I'm trying to.
So if you ever been in a drought
In the drought.
and it gets lonely,
It ain't rained.
if you think you're
Lonely
lonely,
now, wait a minute, this is too deep. I gotta change the station, so turn the dial, trying to catch a break. And then I hear baby face, I only think of you. And it's breaking my heart, trying to keep it together, but I'm falling apart. I'm being out of my element, trying to figure out where the hell I'm in. All right. We have a show to do.
yeah, my fault.
That Mariah Carey, all right, he hitting it.
Yes.
Mariah, hey, it's Christmas time and we know we love
show.
Mariah. There's a
Yeah, we do
sports
love
show we
Mariah.
gotta do.
I'm sorry, yeah, that was.
But
This
listen,
is a sports show.
Mariah in December has magic that we just can't overcome. That's
hey,
all it is.
You can't help but not do that when you hear that song.
You're right.
It's tough. But like, no, this game, y'all know I'm a Jalen Hurts hater.
Yeah.
Proudly.
Yeah.
We know
Stand
that.
on it.
We know that.
Stamp it. I think this game was really, really good for Jalen Hurts. He needed to get back in that rhythm. He had all the time in the world in the pocket to be able to do what he needed to. They got the guys involved that they needed to. A.J. Brown got a touchdown early. Devontae Smith got back activated. It was the first game, I think, in a while that you saw both of those guys really incorporated in the game plan, and that's why I like what KP called as well. This Eagles team is way too talented to keep struggling offensively like they have. I need to see it against a good team.
Correct.
Because the past three decent teams you played, it just has not looked good.
Correct.
So
here's what I'm fearful of, Shady, and not fearful, but I'm cognizant of. I hope the Eagles don't get false hype. Because the Eagles' remaining schedule, you get the Commanders twice, you got the Raiders, and then you have the Bills in there. So 3 out of the Eagles' final 4 games as they head into the playoffs are going to be against terrible teams. As a result, they'll probably mollywop all of those teams, have a somewhat of a clash against the Bills. Then you'll get into the playoffs. But once you get into the playoffs, now you're seeing Seahawks or Packers or Rams or Niners. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, you're not going to get the Commanders again. So what was working in the end of the regular season, which might give Kevin Patullo a little bit of false hope. Oh, Jalen Hurts just passed it 15 times a game. We're going to be able to run it for 111 yards with Saquon Barkley. We're going to have a strong running day with Tank Bigsby. I just wonder, 2-5, do you like that the Eagles are ending the season with a bunch of slouches? Or would you prefer they end the season versus a couple more NFC playoff teams so when you get there, it's not shell shot?
I'm not worried about that part because we beat a lot of playoff teams this year, right? We beat a lot of guys that were top teams. We took care of that. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm more worried about gaining momentum and gaining confidence. And I don't care who the opponent is, you gain confidence through wins. You gain confidence through having an official offense. Because there's sometimes where we'll win a game and we look terrible on offense. I guess it's still a win. No, I want to see how we look.
Yeah.
Going there looking efficient, right? Throwing the ball, running the ball, play action, blocking, all these type of things. Rushing, getting to the quarterback, turning the ball over, not having any turnovers. That's how you build momentum, and that's how you go in the playoffs looking strong. So if I can do that, it don't matter who the opponent is, it's us. When you're the defending champs, it's more about playing us versus playing other team. You know what I'm saying? We not worried about these other teams, Acho, right? Not knowing what's going on, Bear. When we play certain teams, it's all about Eagles versus Eagles. When I say that, it's throwing, catching, making the right reads, not turning the ball over, playing offense and defense on the same page.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do. Other teams need probably, competition. Let's
fair.
see what we look against other No, for us, it's all about us.
I'll ask you this, though. Going to Buffalo and getting a win there, does that not just boost your confidence that much more come playoff time?
That's huge.
That's huge to me. If
That
y'all go
could-
on the
'cause that
road
could
and
be a
beat,
Super Bowl
especially a Buffalo
preview.
team that we just saw what they did today.
Yeah.
They go out there and they beat Buffalo on the road.
Yeah.
That's a huge victory for y'all,
be
and I
a-
think that gives y'all
could
all
be a
the
Super Bowl
boost to think
preview
y'all
for
can win
sure.
a Super Bowl.
See, but I hear you though.
Y'all need that win.
Nah, I hear you. But,
Desperately
y'all
in
need
my
that
mind.
but I'm saying, so like if you look at our schedule,
That would be a good win.
right?
Yep.
Like we did beat Green Bay Packers
A
playoff
while
team.
ago, correct.
Well, I'm just going on. Okay.
Yep.
A top tier team, playoff team.
Really good team.
Detroit Lions, playoff team, good team.
Yeah, good
right?
team,
Right?
good team.
Oh, okay.
Good team.
The Rams.
But that was a long time ago.
That was
Shady.
like
I know,
three.
These
but
are different teams.
What I'm saying is,
Talk to me.
we beat good playoff teams.
Yes.
So for us,
Early.
that's not our thing. That's not our issue.
I can somewhat credit them with them wins because the Eagles have looked the same for the most part all season. They've gotten better as well, but they've been kind of skating by all season long. So I can kind of credit them still with beating the Rams and beating whoever else, because it's not like they look great and now they looking mid. They kind of look mid the whole season. So it's like I could give them some grace. Like it still holds some weight.
Our issue is looking in the mirror and not defeating ourselves.
Yeah.
Because you look at all these other games, we've been losing to ourselves.
Yeah.
Turn the ball. Jalen Hurts don't turn the ball over. A lot of them passes was late. All simple things.
Yeah.
Running the ball. Do we run the ball on the center more or more on the gun? We're trying to figure out what's best for us. KP, the coordinator, right? What type of calls are you making in certain situations in the game?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm bringing up. It's not about the opponent. It is about the Eagles.
I think two things are true. Because I believe this is the first Eagles win without Lane Johnson. So that matters.
Yeah,
right?
come
Like
on.
showing yourselves that you can win without Lane Johnson. First Eagles win without Jalen Carter, albeit he was just missed last
Not
game.
good, he is.
That matters. So, like, I do think it matters for the Eagles to start to rally up some wins. And also, Eagles got to figure out what are they doing with the rotation. Jahad Campbell was about to run away with Defensive Rookie of the Year the first 7 weeks of the season. He ain't play a snap 2 games ago. I didn't see him play much out there today. What are they going to do with the rotation?
Bro, that is so crazy. He legit was in contention for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and that's about to be wiped away. I'm not gonna say he was gonna run away with it, but he for sure is. He was in the contention. Like he was top 3. Like you could pick your poison as to who it is, but he for sure was a candidate. Like it's kind of crazy.
At linebacker. What's going to happen from a depth perspective? Adoree Jackson, he been in his bag lately. Last 2 games.
Yeah.
First 5 games of the season, we were trying to bench him. We were trying to sign Stephon Gilmore. People were saying like, yo, go get somebody off the street. Now Adoree Jackson looks locked down. So I think the Eagles also need to figure out how are they going to go into the playoffs. But Care Bear, the thing that's most fascinating to me is what does it say, or does it say anything, that last year they had to put a governor on Jalen Hurts' arm once they started losing. This year, they had to put a governor, at least today, they put a governor on Jalen Hurts' arm again after losing 3 games straight. Like, to me, Jalen Hurts is
Eagles fans, y'all let me know how accurate that statement is. You know, it could be true. I'm just I genuinely want more perspectives on that. That they're limiting Hurts because, but Hurts has never been just a mistake quarterback. Like he doesn't just make a bunch of mistakes. So I think throwing a ball with him, I don't know. I've never seen that as an issue. He don't normally just throw a bunch of picks. I can see putting the governor on him because he does this regularly, but he don't. You know?
Just too grown, too mature, too old, and I would hope too talented for the path to success to be last year. Hey, you can't throw it more than 25 times a game, Jalen. Yeah. And this year, hey, just 15 times, Jalen. Like, it's just weird that that's the path to success.
I'll put it this way, though. Damn, I can't believe I'm saying this. They're going to win.
Whatever works.
They get they don't care. If Jalen's not going to have a crazy game, but they can win because he's throwing less than 20 times, they're going to do that every single time because this team is just that talented around him. Now, I think that takes Jalen out of the top 5 conversations that he's in right now. Let his winning speak for itself at the end of his career when his resume is looked at. But as of right now, bruh, who cares? Who cares if they had to put a governor on?
Yeah.
Like that's what they need to do to go win, and they're going to do that to go win. I think they're good enough to go win with him throwing less than 20 passes, and they're going to keep doing that if they need to. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
I hear you. It's just crazy, but I hear you.
It is crazy for their fan base to be like, he's a top 5 quarterback, and he has to do that. But,
yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Respectfully, I think I'm taking it. I was entertaining Hurts being in the top 5, bro. I don't know if I can really entertain that anymore. And this is not really even me agreeing with what they're saying, but you know, as a passer, as just overall quarterback, I'm not really seeing that impact, you know, from Hurts. Bro's been a pretty good game manager, you know, and that's not bad. He's a good quarterback, and I like Jalen Hurts. And I honestly, like in terms of like how he carries himself publicly, I think what's a baller. I think he's one of the best in the NFL in terms of leading by example. You don't go out there ever throw anybody under the bus. PR is on point. But I don't know. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on that. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic tripping. Morning, everybody. Hope y'all doing good. All right. Let's see.
Look,
full game manager. Yeah, at the moment, it's kind of what it is right now. It's kind of what it is. All right, they got Shador messed up.
We got to talk about this. Shador Sanders had a very rough performance today. 18 of 35, 177 yards, 3 interceptions, 5 sacks taken, no touchdowns, 2 carries, 24 yards, and a 31-3 loss to the Bears. Fellas, it was a nasty game.
It was nasty.
It was not a good game. How bad do you think Shador Sanders' performance was today?
Cleveland Browns got their guy. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, bro, to have a day, Shador Sanders, Cleveland Browns got their guy is crazy. And it is 4th ever start. But yeah, how bad was this Shador Sanders in you guys' mind?
I got some important information for y'all. There's no better place to win cash. It's good to be right.
Shador played awful. Shador played awful. I'm going to give y'all objective analysts.
This is not bad. 18 for 25. In terms of percentage efficiency, that's the word I'm looking for. In terms of efficiency, it's not a bad game. But the 3 picks were bad. One of them that I recall for sure was his fault. I think all of them was his fault. I'd have to go back and look at them. I think all of them was his fault.
Objective analysis.
No. Judy got the ball snatched away from him on one of them. Okay, yeah. So no, that one I wouldn't call that his fault. The one that CJ picked off, That was a tough throw. That's not an easy throw to make, but hey, you threw it. So, and then the other one where the defender tipped it to himself. This is what it is, you know. But you know, a bad day is a bad day. Everybody has them. Everybody has them.
If y'all want Shador fandom, go to another page. He played awful. He had 3 uncommon plays in my mind. There was a 3rd down scramble. It was 3rd and 10. He picked up 9. Kevin Stefanski should have went for it. He found Isaiah Bond for 43 yards. A beautiful pass.
Cover 2.
And then at the very end of the game, he was scrambling left, kept his eyes downfield, found Jerry Jeudy toe tap for plus 12 yards. Outside of that, Shador Sanders was bad. Bad. Rookie bad. And the hard part when watching it is there were so many mistakes that Shador wouldn't have made at the collegiate level. The pick to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, that's versus cover 3. It's high-low. You're high-lowing the curl-flat defender. Shador, just throw the check down to the tight end. You can't go broke taking a profit. But Shador Sanders was trying to hit too many home runs. Yeah. I get it. They were from behind, and he was trying to play catch-up. But the reason y'all were playing catch-up the entirety of the game is because you were trying to hit the home run far too often. Live off singles, and then eventually you'll just put some batters in. So when I'm watching the game, it was a very, very, very forgettable game. It was a rookie game. So if you want me to give true objective analysis, it was awful. If you want to couch it with some grace and couch it with some gentleness, he played like a rookie. The pick, he tried to beam a slant in there, great play by the linebacker. The pick to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Shador, just throw the check down. The pick to Jalen Johnson, Jerry Jeudy, catch it. It hit you in the chest. Catch it. No more, no less.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when Shador throws a screen for 66 yards, he gets praised for that 66-yard completion. So when he throws a pick that hits Jerry Jeudy in the hands, you're going to get blamed for that interception. We unnecessarily praise Shador, and we
I don't see how you could blame him for Jerry Jeudy getting the ball ripped from him. I get what Acho's doing. Acho's holding people accountable who praise Shador for throwing a screen that went 60 yards. I can respect that. You can hold them people accountable. But if I'm not mistaken, Acho was one of the people, but I could be wrong. But no, I think you got to give Jerry Jeudy a little bit more blame on that.
necessarily criticize Shador, but at the end of the day, it was awful. No other way to talk about it.
We that pick, we can't do that. Everything you said, I agree with, but the pick.
Jeudy got to catch
Dog.
Jeudy got to catch
He put the ball in his chest.
Correct. He got to catch.
Beautiful.
He got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
So, but hey, he didn't play well. He looked like a rookie. That's what rookies do. That's why I never really judge rookies, because it's so hard to be a rookie, go on there and play good every single game. He didn't play well, right? I look for him to bouncing back. And the Caleb Williams thing is Caleb looked good.
We'll get there. Don't.
No, I'm just going on both of the games, but so they look good. I think for Shador though, it's a matter of just stacking these games together, right? Mind you, it's not an excuse, but the guy just started. And he is a rookie. It takes time.
Yeah. Here's the tough part, right? Because y'all know me, at least Care Bear, we was talking about this. I try to really be objective with my Shador analysis. The first thing I'll say is this. Shador, you can't afford a game like that. And that's the difference. You're a 5th-round pick who many...
I think we kind of passed that, like Shador not being able to afford it. This is my opinion on that. Because Dylan Gabriel, clear concussion protocol, and they named Shador the starter. So I think we're past that. I think he could afford to throw 3 picks in a game at this moment. I think he could afford to make mistakes because they made it clear that they're gonna go all in on him for this season. At least it appears to be that. But I mean, if this is your guy, you gotta let him do that. And if he's not your guy, and they're not gonna allow him to throw 3 picks in a game, whether they're his fault or not as a rookie, then this is not the organization for him. And whether he gets benched or not, whatever plays out is going to play out how it's supposed to play out. So I wouldn't, it wouldn't even be for him to stress, He would be out of the organization sooner than later if they're not going to trust him moving forward.
people question, does their coach even like you? Many people question, if the Browns have a top 2 draft pick, are they going to draft a quarterback? So, Shador, you have to exceed everybody else's doubt. You have to exceed what some people are calling hate. You have to exceed your 5th-round pick draft status, even though you're significantly more talented than a 5th-round pick. Shador Sanders, you don't have the luxury, unfortunately, of having a game like that. Cam Ward can have a season of games like that. Caleb Williams last year had a season of unimpressive games. Oh, he didn't have, I don't think it's 3 interception game, no touchdowns. Maybe he did.
He had some bad games,
but
though.
he did. But Shador, unfortunately, you don't have the luxury of having a game like that because you are already playing catch up. You weren't the number 1 overall pick. Your head coach doesn't necessarily believe in you. At least he's not acting like he does. The Cleveland Browns are probably going to have a high draft pick. So, Shador, if you want to ensure that you are the starter next year, though it is not necessarily fair, you do not have the luxury of having a game like that. Other people do. Other people that are drafted higher, you're allowed to suck if you're a number 1 overall pick. They will make room for you. If you're a 5th-round pick and your coach don't even necessarily like you, they're not looking to make room for you. So, Shador, you unfortunately, he just doesn't have the luxury that so many other people do.
Only thing is, I just, that's not realistic, though. Because he is rookie. So when you say he don't have enough, I guess, opportunities to have bad, like, I look at a guy like, who was that that they benched? The kid from the Colts.
Anthony Richardson.
Right.
Yep.
First rounder,
Yep.
ain't look good, they benched him. And then you go to Carolina, though, with Bryce Young.
Yep.
They look good, then they benched him. You got to give these guys some time, right? And I think Shador, he's so popular that they try to treat him different than other rookies. If you look at all the rookies that we can talk about, Caleb Williams, when he was a rookie, it's games where he didn't look good at all, right? But you gave him that benefit of doubt.
Yeah.
Who else last year? I mean, so many other rookies that get a chance. Even when I said Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young was a Heisman winner.
Yeah.
He gets to the league, he don't look good.
Drake
And then,
May.
then they bench
Yeah.
him. Drake May's another one. So all these quarterbacks, when you're a rookie, it is hard as hell to go out there and play and be consistent.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt. Had a bad game. But as long as he learns from it, I'm okay with it.
The thing is, Shady's right, but everything Shady just mentioned that those guys have in common, 1st-round picks. And some number 1 overall picks. Bryce Young, 1st-round pick. Anthony Richardson, number 4 overall.
Well, you're on point with that one. And that's factual. It's super factual. They're going to have more leeway, but again, I kind of look at it like I said, it got to mean something. Them saying Shador is going to be the starter after a mediocre first start. He didn't ball out in his first start. Them naming him the starter after a mediocre first start, knowing that Dylan Gabriel was cleared from concussion protocol, got to mean something. So, I mean, you got to let him go out there and make his mistakes.
Pick, 1st-round pick. Drake May, number 3 overall pick, 1st-round pick. Like, you can suck. The only 1st-round pick in recent memory who sucked and didn't get much of a chance, Josh Chosen-Rosen. That's the only one who sucked, and they're like, you know what? You're not even going to get year 2 as a starter.
Yeah, you're really bad.
Like, you're really bad.
Yeah.
But other 1st-round picks, you can suck, and they'll make room for you.
I don't even know if Josh Rosen was that bad. I just that was the worst I've ever seen a 1st-round quarterback get done. I've never seen that happen before. I don't even think he was like bad to that extent. You know, that was a crazy situation.
5th-round picks, even 3rd-round picks, you don't have that opportunity.
The only pushback I have is Cleveland has been treating him the later half of the season. Well, at least I think the decision to say, hey, he's going to start the remainder of the games no matter what, which is what they came out and said. Stefanski was like, hey, he's going to start the rest of our games for the rest of the season. That, to me, is the type of commitment you make towards a guy that you want to be your friend.
Okay, so he said that? Okay. But I didn't hear the words the rest of the season. But if he did say that, then, I mean, yeah. That's the case, then he can afford to throw 3 picks in the game. For sure.
Franchise quarterback. So he has this. I mean, we said this beforehand, and I think it was kind of swept under the rug. This is the number 1 defense in the entire NFL at taking the ball away.
Correct.
That secondary takes the ball away better than any other defense in the entire league. If he did go out there and outperform Caleb like Shady predicted he would, I think we'd be having a crazier discussion, and I think it would be worthy of that discussion.
What discussion exactly?
whether he's better than, whether he's shown up until this point to be better than Caleb. But this just wasn't going to happen.
No,
it just was not going to happen.
But see, to me, I'm always looking out for what I would deem as like the best opportunity for Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
And if the Browns are going to end up with the number 1 or number 2 overall pick, Shedeur, you can't do this. Because I was on the phone today talking to some individuals in the know. Deshaun Watson's already guaranteed $46 million next year. So like it or not, the Cleveland Browns are on the hook to pay a quarterback $46 million. So he's going to get an opportunity. Like it or not, there's
The only way I see Deshaun getting an opportunity is if Shedeur or Gabriel gets hurt. But the thing is, if that happens and Deshaun outplays Shedeur or Gabriel, question mark. But we'll see.
the quarterback out of Indiana that just won a Heisman, that just beat Ohio State, that has 15-0. There's a world in which he could go, 18-0, Care Bear? Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, there's a world in which he can go maybe 16 or 17-0. Like, they're going to potentially try to draft him in Mendoza. So, Shedeur, if you...
They're not drafting Mendoza. They're not drafting... I believe there is a 1% chance that the Browns draft a quarterback in his upcoming draft. You just drafted 2, and you have a quarterback that you cannot get rid of. It just doesn't make sense. Technically, they could get rid of Deshaun, but I just don't think it makes sense to take that dead cap. I think that's an unnecessary transaction. At least you know you got a good backup. You know, if all fails, if both of your rookies by next year they'll be sophomores, if both of them get hurt, at least you know you got a good backup.
Want to make sure you do not give this job away or let somebody else come in and take it, you're not allowed to have no touchdown, 3 interception games. It's almost like when Dak Prescott replaced Tony Romo. Like, Dak, if you want to do the unthinkable and hold on to this job, which isn't supposed to be yours, you have to be wildly impressive. Russell Wilson, if you want to hold on to this job that's supposed to be Matt Flynn's, you got to be wild.
Both of them were in amazing situations. I'm not going to lie. But I hear him. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I think if Shedeur is playing good, like let's say his play picks up, even if he does get hurt next year, I don't think that there's a even if Deshaun does come in and play good, I don't think there's a question. Like you don't start a controversy as long as Shedeur is still playing good. Well, it is what it is. You know, Davis Mills, he came out this year, went 3-0 as a starter. There's still no controversy as to where that you know, they know where they know who the starter is. Was a Nick.
Wildly impressive. Kirk Cousins, if you want to hold on to this job that's supposed to be Robert Griffin's, you got to be wildly impressive. Brock Purdy, if you want to hold on to this job that's supposed to be Trey Lance's, you have to be wildly impressive. Shedeur Sanders, if you want to hold on to this job that's supposed to be a number 2 overall picks or number 1 overall picks or Deshaun Watson, who's making $46 million next year, you have to be wildly impressive. And 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, it's rookie. It's fair. It's just not wildly impressive.
Yeah.
And so Shedeur, you just don't have the luxury to be rookie.
Yeah.
Which isn't fair, but we've all been in that situation.
It's not fair
before.
because they don't want to commit a future to him based off of the draft position that he shouldn't have been taken in anyway. And that to me is my problem with it. It's okay, well, we don't want to let this guy get an opportunity with a shortened season to be able to get first team reps and go out.
Tony Jefferson might face a suspension for the hit on Thornton. No, I didn't see that. I don't think I saw the hit either.
There and prove himself, and whenever he does have a stinker, like every rookie does, it's now you're and I understand that's a predicament that he's in.
Here's
but
a kicker.
Like,
here's a problem, right? Because we got to get. What I love about this show is the honesty, and we all offer different perspective. If you want Shedeur more praise, you'll hear Shady. If you want Shedeur that sounds more critical, you'll hear me. If Shedeur would have started the season instead of Dylan Gabriel, you got to bench him then after this game for Dylan Gabriel. If Shedeur, the 5th round pick, starts over the 3rd round pick, after Shedeur plays a game like this, you'd have to say, well, let's look at the 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
Because I think Shedeur.
If we hadn't seen Dylan.
Yeah, that's my point.
I disagree with that.
But Shady, Dylan Gabriel never played a game this bad. And we wanted Dylan Gabriel out of there.
But Dylan Gabriel never played as good as Shedeur either.
Exactly right.
Brother had 300-some yards, almost 400 yards. Did we not forget 3 touchdowns?
No, didn't forget it at all.
So you can't erase that. As a rookie, you're going to have good and bad.
Correct.
So, but I'm saying every time you have a bad game, you can't like panic more than if it has a good game. You can't
Agree.
do that.
No, what I'm saying is to Care Bear's point, to everybody who's like, Shador should have started the season. Blessing and curse. Because now Shador is going to get the rest of the game. So he'll end up starting more games than Dylan. But if Shador would have started the season, after this game, I think Shador's 1-3 as a starter. If this was his fourth, I think he's 1-3 as a starter, right? Or at minimum, he's 1-2. After this game, you'd have to say, dang, I think Shador has 2 passing touchdowns, maybe 5 interceptions as a starter. I'm not looking at the stats ahead of me, so I apologize if I'm wrong.
3 touchdowns last game.
3 touchdowns last game?
Yeah.
So like, you'd be like, oh, I want Dylan. At the end of the day, Shador, he has the opportunity. Got to make the most of the opportunity. And today just wasn't making the most of the opportunity. That's all.
But real quick, he played terrible today.
Yeah,
But last game he played great.
absolutely.
That's what rookies are. So I can't grade you differently from.
I wouldn't say he played terrible. He played bad. I would not say. I wouldn't call it a terrible game.
This week to that week, it's the same, right?
What you mean?
Because you're saying that like
Neither matters that much and neither matters that little.
No.
Like they're both.
Every rookie we can sit here and talk about, we watch them have great games or really good games and terrible games. That's what rookies all about.
Yeah.
Because every game for a rookie is a new game. When I say that, like you a vet in the league, when you play you play the Cowboys before, it's not a new game to you. Right? You play the Browns, it's not a new game. But when you're a rookie, every stadium is different. Everything is different. So you take the good with the bad. We watched him last week look phenomenal. Yeah. And this week he looked terrible. That's what rookies do.
Yeah.
From all the guys we talk about on there, from Bo Nix to Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams had some bad games last year. Michael Penix, they all had bad games.
Terrible games this year.
I could name all them dudes that had bad games. And now they had some good games. That's what the rookie does. You keep slowly getting better. So I'm not going to critique him too much on this game. He looked terrible. Cool. Yeah. You move on from, you learn from it, go to the film room. Yeah. And next week, I'll grade him that week.
Isn't it fair, though, it has to be equal? Meaning, with the same fervor and energy we praised him last week, we have to give that same energy to critiquing him this week. Because I can't bring out a megaphone and yell when he's great.
The thing is, he went 18 for 25. That is efficient. He threw 2 picks that were his fault. Every starting quarterback this year has thrown 2 picks in a game. He threw 3 in total, but we clearly, one of them wasn't his fault. I mean, I think it's fair across the board to say that. So I don't think there's any ultra criticism to give. I mean, like you could break it down, on a extreme level, but he played very efficient, but he threw 2 picks that he shouldn't have thrown.
And then whisper when he's not. Like, I have to do both. It's got to be mega.
Just a heads up, his stat line was 18 for 35. The screen is wrong. Oh, wow. That's not efficient. Appreciate it. Thank you, Philip. Shador needs to work on his intermediate game. That's my first time hearing that. That's interesting.
Phone for both, or whispers for both?
While I disagree on that part, is because on a regular player, 2-3 year player, I grade equally like you just did.
Yep.
But when you're a rookie, I applaud you more when you do really, really good to compare it to when you do terrible. Because as a rookie, it's easier to play bad than to play good.
Yeah.
One of my hardest years I've ever had in the NFL was when I was starting as a rookie. Mm-hmm. That's the truth.
Yep.
Yeah. The reason why the megaphone's out is because he's Shador Sanders. With any other rookie, we don't hold him to this standard, positively or negatively.
Caleb, we did.
Who did?
But
Caleb,
even then,
you know me last year. I talked like
you want tough on him like that though.
Even
and he had some games where they would win. He would have like 80 yards.
Yeah, it was not good.
Right.
It was not good.
My thing is though, he's a rookie. Peyton Manning had some stinkers his rookie season. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna just be like, oh well, you looked great here and you showed promise. He's young. They're supposed to show promise, and then you're supposed to improve on that. I'm judging him in year 3 if he hasn't grown from that. There you go. And that's the reason why I think this entire
because Shador's not going to be starting in year 3 in Cleveland like this. Yeah, because the head coach already isn't looking to start.
That's the cards that he's been.
I think it's possible. And it's for sure to be determined based off of how he finishes the season. That's the big thing. They draft Caleb. I can't really remember much Caleb talk from last year, if I'm being honest, but I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be.
Dealt though, and I think that's not as fair because with any other quarterback, and I understand he's taken in the 5th round. No one in here thinks he was a 5th round talent.
But see, he's
in that predicament because
here's
he
what
was.
I hate though. Here's what I hate what you're doing, Care Bear, is this.
He hates it.
You can't play the hand you wish you had. You have to play the hand you're dealt. And too many analysts are talking about Shedeur with the hand they wish he had. Number 1 overall pick. He should have been a number 1 overall pick. Should have been a 1st round pick. Unfortunately, he wasn't. Man, Kevin Stefanski ruining him. Well, unfortunately, that's
so he has to do far more with a less talented team than other quarterbacks taken.
I don't like doing this off the time, but like what they say, you got to be twice as good to be equal. How many times in your life,
in his
Half
class?
as much.
how many times in your life, in my life, in Social Trade's life, in Shady's life, is it like, well, you know what? Cards might be stacked against me a little bit. Based upon whatever it might be, based upon race, based upon socioeconomic status, based upon religion, based upon whatever. And at the end of the day, you got to be twice as good to be equal. So I'm not going to ask of Shedeur anything that hasn't been asked of any of the black men sitting next to me. With all due respect.
That's the reality of this situation.
That's the reality. And the problem is, so many people are trying to ask of Shedeur.
He has to take his checkdowns. I could agree with that. I'm not gonna lie. He does. The thing is, like, and Acho said it earlier, he tends to look for the big play, and I'm not mad at that, you know. But there are times where you gotta just take the check down. And I think that's where that thing that comes from. He holds the ball too long. He just be trying to look for that big play, like he, trying to. And I don't think he's looking for the big play just to look for the big play. It's just like, we down. We need this right now. And he's not the only quarterback in the NFL who does that. Mahomes does that very often. I think Lamar does that a fair amount. There's other quarterbacks who do it as well, but I just think it gets magnified with Shedeur. But it's okay. It's come with the territory. He played good against the team he played good against was 1-11. He played bad against the team that leads the league in takeaways. But you know what? That's expected from a rookie, It's expected from a rookie, and I think people got to just look at it with a realistic lens,
That's what anyone was asking him. You got to be twice as good to be equal to get the job.
Love his big time throws.
You
Nah,
got to be
facts.
twice as good to be equal to get the job.
I think with time, he'll learn. Like at least he has that in him. He's not scared to take shots. But with time, he'll learn to he'll learn when to just settle. He'll learn when to settle. But I think he's gonna need a consistent OC. Whether it's Stefanski or somebody else, he's gonna need a consistent play caller because changing play callers, I think, too much hurts the development of quarterbacks.
Twice as good as Cam Ward with just as shitty of a team. Like
and that's what it is.
Just to get an opportunity.
And that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be twice as good to be. And in Shedeur's situation, he's got to be twice as good of a rookie to maintain the job next year. You're not allowed to be.
I just think he got to showcase, because when I look at rookies, I'm not looking to go out there and have 400 yards like he had last game. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking for that, right? Just show me flashes of, okay, you're getting better. Okay, oh, he's getting better. Oh, bad game. Oh, he learned from that next game. He a rookie. That's what it's all about. I think next year, when you come into training camp, whatever they do with the quarterback situation, now in your second year, you ready to roll. You got a whole all season to get a little stronger, right? Because I look at his body frame, you can tell he's not really that strong. You get a whole all season in the NFL to get yourself stronger. A whole all season to get yourself right mentally with the offensive playbook.
Yeah.
So now, that your second year in that training camp, oh, there's Shedeur Sanders, right? Because right now, all we're going to see is flashes of greatness, right? Damn, he has this in him. Oh, he's smart. He's this, he's that. And then you'll have some bad stuff. It's the next year. And any football player will tell you this. The biggest jump is from year 1 to year 2 because you know what to expect. So my thing where I'm really going to grade Shedeur is his second year. what you look like. Right now, I just want to see flashes of good things.
But in
and when you do bad, learn from that.
In your expert opinion, knowing what you know about the Browns, knowing what you know about the draft, will he get a second year starting?
I think I can't answer that question honestly because I think his head coach is against him, but I think the ownership is like, hold up, we got this kid that everybody loves, right? And he's looking good with talent. He has to start. He has to play. And next year they have a issue with the money. As bad as Deshaun Watson has played on the field, right? Real bad. He is owed like $40-something million.
Yeah.
So that's going to play a part. But I think in training camp, we will see what's going to happen. I think Shedeur Sanders will have a chance to start in training camp. And if he has a chance to start, I think he's the best quarterback in that room.
Fair.
Let me know your thoughts. I think if Bryce Young can get benched and come back, there's room in the NFL for Shedeur, whether it's with the Browns or not. If Tua could get benched and come back, there's room in the NFL for him. You know, so I think everything will be good. All right, we got Josh Allen has to win a Super Bowl this year.
Speaking of these other teams in the AFC, we had a matchup between the Bills and Patriots. I was excited for this one. This was the matchup of the day. And Josh Allen.
Tua got benched for Ryan Fitzpatrick. If that wasn't his rookie year, that was his second year. But he got benched for a well-loved period.
Being down 21-0 leads the Bills to a comeback victory, and he tied Tom Brady and Russell Wilson for the second most win for a quarterback in their first 8 seasons in NFL history. Fellas, I know we just talked about Patrick Mahomes, but is Josh Allen the best quarterback in the NFL right now?
I got some important information for y'all. There's no better place to win cash.
Matthew Stafford.
It's good to be right.
Wait, before
Super Bowl is wide open for anybody this year. I agree with that. But my favorites right now is the Vikings. I said the Vikings. My bad, bro. I said Vikings because I know you're a Vikings fan. My favorite is the Rams and the Eagles for the NFC. The AFC, complete toss-up. But we'll see.
answer, is Pat included because he's hurt? Or how do you want to do this?
He's hurt.
He's hurt.
So Pat's no.
Yep, Pat's gone.
Okay.
I'll say yes, Josh is the best quarterback in the NFL, and I will also say Josh Allen's game against the Patriots proves that Josh should win the Super Bowl this year. Why? When the Patriots went up 21-0, you want to know what Josh Allen did the next 5 drives? Touchdown, 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 punt, game over. Those were Josh Allen's next 5 drives after the Patriots went up 21-0. You do realize if the Patriots beat the Bills, Patriots clinch the division. So with Josh Allen's back against the wall, everything on the line, division on the line, I think they're in New England. He went touchdown, 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 game over. That is what makes Josh Allen better than everybody else. Because Drake May started the game off cooking. 2 rushing touchdowns. Didn't know what the hell's happening with Buffalo. Buffalo DB's looking old, looking slow. Josh Allen couldn't figure it out. Then all of a sudden, Josh Allen, he starts running, he starts passing.
You said they downplay Cooks, like they don't use him. Is that what you mean? AFC, Broncos, Pats, or Bills. I think those are the favorites right now. I think those are the favorites. Yeah.
He does everything. It's Josh Allen and James Cook versus the world to me.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I always say this, though. I always thought it was Patrick Mahomes, number 1, and I thought it was Josh Allen, number 2. So if Pat's not in this, for sure, Josh.
Are you talking about James? Are you talking about James Cook or Brandon Cooks?
Josh Allen is the number 1 quarterback. I don't know about winning the Super Bowl this year. This is because they don't have enough talent, man. I watched too many times where defenses line up and say, you know what, we're going to play man on man, and they doing press man at that. Real disrespectful. And they can't.
If the Bills get matched up with the Texans in the playoffs, I don't know what they're gonna do. Can they beat the Texans? Maybe, but I don't think that's a good matchup for them. If the Broncos get matched up with the Texans in the playoffs, that's a toss up. If the Patriots get matched up with the Texans in the playoffs, we haven't seen them play this year, but I think that's a toss up. So I think I don't trust the Texans to go to the Super Bowl because of their offense, but I do trust them to beat any of those teams and knock one of them out in the playoffs. But I think Chargers could beat any of those teams as well, though. But Jags could too. I don't know. I think that I feel like the AFC is more of a toss up. I feel more sure about the Eagles and the Rams. Like the NFC, they have two teams who I feel much more assurance in than than anybody in the AFC. I don't feel any assurance with anybody in the AFC. Like I feel like everybody in the AFC playoffs can knock each other out. There's not one team that stands out at all.
Get open. It's only
Josh
so
Allen
long
number 4, Pat Lamar and Burrow are all better than Allen. I think that's fair to say. I think it's fair. That's a take where it's like to each his own, but that's fair.
Put the cape on and.
But as of right now, the best quarterback in the league right now is Matthew Stafford, in my opinion.
Save the day, right? And James Cook is phenomenal. He's been playing great. But I truly feel like they need more help for Josh Allen. It's only so much one man could do.
True, but Shady, this year, I don't know if that's the case. Only because this. Bo Nix doesn't have that much help on offense. Drake May sure as hell ain't got that much help on offense. CJ Stroud, he ain't got that much help.
I'm not going to front. I think Broncos got pieces offensively. Do they use them to their full potential? Nah. And do they have a bunch of elite pieces on offense? No. I think the Patriots, again, you decide to play Diggs for a full game. Why they haven't at all this season, I don't know. Maybe they saving them to the playoffs. But if you decide to play Diggs for a full game, I think you're going to look real good. Kayshawn has looked really good this year as a number 2. He's had some number 1 type games. Hunter Henry is a good tight end. Travion Henderson, very good running back. Potential to be a very good running back, and he's playing very good when he gets the bulk of the carries. I think the Patriots got talent on offense. I think the Texans, in the receiving core, if you talk about their receivers and tight ends, the running back is questionable. But I think the Texans got a really nice receiving core. Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, the rookies that they got, Xavier Hutchinson. It's a nice receiving core. Dalton Schultz. But I don't think it's not like it's a bunch of bums out there on any of those teams. But I think that the biggest issue is like none of these teams have consistent play calling that makes these weapons look like they're really good.
On offense. So as you start to look at that AFC playoff picture, Justin Herbert, does he have any help on offense? You start to look at the playoff picture and you're like, wait a second. At least
Justin Herbert, I mean, realistically, that offense is not bad. Amarion Hampton and Kamani Vidal is a nice running back duo right now. Keenan Allen is good. Lab McConkey's good. QJ is good when needed. Trey Harris has been popping up, good when needed. The issue with all of these teams is, can their play calling be consistent? The most consistent play calling out of all of these teams is the Patriots. They have the most consistent offensive play calling in terms of solid, like in terms of consistent production. But I don't think there's a lack of talent with any of these teams. No, they don't have a bunch of elite threats, but I think it just will come down to it. It's just lack of talent. Broncos, they good. I think Evan Ingram's a good tight end. I think Troy Franklin has shown to make some really good plays this year. I think Courtland Sutton is a very good number one. I think he needs to be treated like he's elite. They don't treat him like he's elite. I think they treat him like he's really good. But that's not to say that he is elite, but I think you can get way more out of Courtland Sutton than that they get out of him. And Mims is cool. I'm not, I think the Broncos probably have the worst receiving core out of all of those teams, but that's not to say that they're. I'm not gonna say worst receiving core. I think offensive weapons out of all of those teams, they probably have the least in terms of like talent, but I don't think they're bad. But again, if I had to say like the best play calling that I trust the most, it'd be the Patriots. But all of them, I don't really trust all of their offensive play calling.
At least it's a fair fight. Don't none of y'all have help. What receiver does Lamar Jackson have if he ends up making it? What receiver does Aaron Rodgers have if he ends up making it? What receiver does Justin Herbert have if he ends up making it? What receiver?
The receiving core for the Chargers is not bad. Their play calling is just not that good. If I'm being honest. It doesn't complement the weapons that they have. If Sean McVay or Shanahan was running that offense, that would be a disgusting offense. If either one of them guys had Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen, QJ, Trey Harris, and again Kamani Vidal and Omarion Hampton, and Aronde Gadsden. Come on now. Pats, I don't trust with the lead. Broncos have the best O-line.
Does Bo Nix have if he ends up making it? Like, it ain't like anybody sitting there with the top.
I think Courtland Sutton is really good, but I don't think Courtland Sutton is scaring anybody. But do I think Courtland Sutton can cook majority of the corners in his playoffs in the AFC right now? I think he could. It's not really too many that make me nervous or like to the point that aside from the Texans corners and maybe Christian Gonzalez off top of the head, but it's not really too many that make me think that he'll get completely wiped out of game or shut down. But it's not, again, it goes back to, it's not like they use him like a elite receiving target either. So
Top 5 receiver. Josh Allen, at least it's a fair fight. And if nobody has help, now CJ Stroud has Nico Collins, and he's a dude. I respect him better more than anybody. But at least it's a fair fight.
I mean, but hold on. You talking about they got number one receivers now. Aaron Rodgers has number one receiver. You just talked about
I respect DK Metcalf, but the Steelers do not treat. It's the same thing I just said with Courtland Sutton. The Steelers don't treat DK like that. The Steelers, it's been 10 plus weeks into the season, and they just had a game with him. What was that last week where they got him 10 plus targets for the first time all season? He got 10 plus targets, and he's been the number one all season. They don't utilize they don't treat their number one guy like a dog. You know what I mean? Like they don't treat him like an alpha, like the guy. So yeah, Steelers, they got a guy, but
all of them are cool. DK Metcalf is cool this year. He ain't been doing nothing crazy all year.
Yeah,
like he
Metcalf
hasn't
is-
looked. He cool.
I know, but he's a solid receiver.
Solid receiver, absolutely.
Who else you said over there?
Courtland Sutton, solid receiver.
So, right, these guys can beat man coverage. Okay, if I got to throw on the ball,
100%, 100%.
I would bet that they could make plays. I don't feel like that for the Bills. And you only talk about offense. What about defense?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Even on defense, they don't have no players. They got up so fast on the Bills, so that was like, whoa.
I know.
Yeah, so and I got a lot of friends over there, so I'm not going to bash them, but they don't have enough help on offense or defense. They don't. You got to have some guys going to make difference. They don't gotta make no difference. If you look at all the last Super Bowl winners, right? Like the Eagles, I mean, you could pick a guy that makes a difference.
Yeah.
We got so many of them. The year after that was, who was that?
Chiefs, yeah.
Pat,
Chiefs.
well, I mean, Kelsey.
Chris Jones.
Chris
on them,
Jones. Like
yeah.
it had, so
McDuffie, Snead.
when I watch the Bills, they don't have none of that. They got him and Josh Cook.
James Cook, yeah.
James Cook, sorry. Right, Josh and James. Anyway, they don't have enough over there. And I keep preaching that. And this how I know I'm not tripping. When I watch the games and I watch how the defense is guarding these receivers, they're basically saying, listen, our guys are better than your guys.
But let me say this.
Let's line it up.
Can I say this, Care Bear? Let me say this.
Go ahead.
I don't want to go here, but I think I have to now. It would be embarrassing and an utter shame if Josh Allen doesn't get to the Super Bowl this year.
With no.
Again, let's say they get matched up with the Texans, or even if they get matched up with the Broncos. That's gonna be tough, man. I mean, it's just the reality of it. I wouldn't really be embarrassed for the Bills. The optics of it make it look embarrassing because the Ravens might not make the playoffs, the Bengals didn't make the playoffs, and the Chiefs didn't make the playoffs. So, considering how the landscape of the AFC has looked over the past few years, Josh Allen, it's your time. But with context, the AFC has caught up to these 4 quarterbacks. As of right now, they're not. They are the best 4 quarterbacks in the AFC, but they're not the only legit threats to the NFC anymore. The Broncos are established. The Texans are very close to being established. The Patriots are established. And the Colts next year will be established. And the Jaguars, it's to be determined with the Jags because I just don't trust that franchise. It's not that they have a terrible team or anything. I just don't trust the franchise. But the Jags might be established too. So the rest of the AFC is starting to catch up with them. So they're gonna make these 4 quarterbacks' life a lot harder over the next five years. So it's not going to be cakewalks no more. It's not going to be shoe-ins for all 4 of them. It's going to have to be some changes for sure.
Pat, he's showing the capability of beating these teams, though.
No Burrow.
Yeah.
Can't leave out Herbert. The Chargers are very close as well to being established. I don't know if I trust them as well, but they're very close.
Maybe no Lamar.
Yeah.
In what world can you be Josh Allen?
Yeah.
And somehow let a sophomore Bo Nix, a sophomore Drake May.
You know, it sound like that, but that pass rush for the Broncos just as good as that pass rush for the Texans, statistically. But you know what I mean. So if they get caught up and they get matched up with them, they might have to say goodbye.
A never won a playoff game, Justin Herbert. A junior won maybe 2 playoff games, C.J. Stroud. Go to a Super Bowl and you go home. It would be utterly embarrassing and the greatest disappointment. There is no Pat, there is no Joe, and there might not be Lamar. Those are your only peers.
So you basically saying if Josh Allen doesn't go to the Super Bowl this year.
Rolling, how you doing, man? Good to see you, big dog. Y'all folded? Hey. You win some, you lose some, man. Win some, you lose some.
This year is a disappointment for him.
Completely. Shady, imagine a world
Their defense is bad,
like, y'all know
that's the problem.
And old.
Yeah.
Y'all know boxing better than me, right? But like, if somebody just gives up the belt back in Tyson's heyday and you ain't got to fight Tyson, it's like, wait a second. You got to go get you a belt then, bruh. Sha'Carri Richardson in the 2021 Olympics when she got tested positive for weed. You ain't got to go be Sha'Carri. You better go get you a gold then.
Yeah.
Like, if you ain't got to beat Pat, Shady Wild. If you ain't got to beat Pat,
yes,
like,
sir.
You have to go. You have to at least go.
I think the expectation this year, and it's because of the game that we just saw today, he can beat these teams. You went on the road to Foxborough in a game in which they could have clinched the division, and you beat them.
The thing is, though, with the Patriots, their defense doesn't scare me. The Patriots have a good defense, but their defense don't scare me like the Texans and the Broncos defenses do. And the Broncos defense don't really scare me like that. No offense to them. But but I know how lethal their pass rush is. So I think that's more of a problem for the Bills than the Patriots. See total defense. What the Patriots looking like? Houston and Denver both top 5, and the Chargers is number 2. So I mean, hey, Chargers might, dang, New England is number 7. Wow, interesting. And KC is number 8. KC got a top 10 defense this year. Let me see what the Patriots. Patriots are. Did I pass them up? New England 7. I'm tripping. Let me see what the sack numbers are looking like. Total sack numbers. I really don't think our defense is all that. I think it's a solid defense. I think it's a very solid defense, but it's not scary, Okay, our sack leaders. Broncos is up there. So the Chargers have more sacks than the Texans on the season. Now this is all contextual, because if you're playing worse O lines, it's all contextual, but this is all we can see. But so if the Bills get matched up with the Chargers could get us some problems. The Chargers have a better statistically. I don't think it's legit, but they have more sacks on the season than the Texans, and they're the number 2 defense. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. It's not gonna be It's not an easy setup for the Bills this year.
And look, I understand their defense is struggling. That's why I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl. But I do think they're more than capable of making it to a Super Bowl because come playoff time, there's playoff risers and there are playoff fallers.
Yeah.
We don't know what the other guys in the AFC are. What we do know is when the playoffs get here, Josh Allen
is different.
Is a different beast.
Let me ask you a question.
Please do. Please do.
If the top 3 teams in the West would be Bills, the Broncos,
and the AFC.
AFC.
Okay,
yeah. And who else?
Bills, Broncos,
That's in the West,
Patriots.
and the Patriots. So
Yeah.
let's say the Broncos. I'll use them for example because you like to use Bo Nix. If Bo Nix plays bad, can the Broncos still win?
Probably. It would be difficult.
But decent run game. They got great defense.
Good defense, yeah. If they get some turnovers, probably.
And that's my thing is like, if Josh don't have a great
Henderson
game,
looked amazing. No, that's facts.
It comes to a point where
Henderson needs the bulk of the carries because knowing that he can just take a run to the crib like that, you want to increase the chances of that. So you want to keep giving him more touches. It don't make sense to keep taking the ball out of his hands, in my opinion. But I mean, like, if you don't want to overload him right now because you want to overload him for the playoffs, understandable. If you got Stephon Diggs limited right now because you want Stephon Diggs to play 100% of snaps in the playoffs, understandable. But if they're still doing this in the playoffs, that's extremely questionable. That's just gonna be very questionable. What's up, Ja? Yeah, crazy. If Josh Allen is a different beast in the playoffs, why hasn't he made a Super Bowl? Interesting. I got to bench Diggs next week. 5 points in each of the past 3 games. Interesting. Because defense sells him. I'm curious what they're gonna do with Diggs in the playoffs. How they gonna play that?
guys are just not getting open. So now I got to extend plays and I got to try to create, and that's when the turnovers happen. And it's like if he doesn't play well, they can't win on offense or defense. And a lot of these other teams, like even the Texans, if they play okay on offense, they still can win on defense.
Shady, that's on him though.
That's on who?
That
Bro. Let me hear him out.
would be on Josh. And let me tell you why. you have to perform come playoff time. You have to. You have to, though.
That is the most general.
You have to, though. Like if Patrick
more-
Mahomes, if Patrick Mahomes didn't play incredible football where he wasn't turning the ball over before the Super Bowl, and
I don't know how I feel about that because Mahomes getting blown out by the Eagles. Mahomes, when you see him running for his life, making crazy throws, versus the who was that? That was the Eagles, was it not? I can't remember. Who did they lose to in the Super Bowl? They lost to the Eagles. I feel like it was somebody else that they lost to. I could be wrong. I very much could be wrong. But Mahomes running for his life, playing against the Eagles in the Super Bowl. We gonna blame Mahomes for that? So like, I don't know how I feel about that. The Bucks, thank you. That's who it was. It was the Bucks. Mahomes running for his life against the Bucks. We gonna blame Mahomes for that loss? I'm not blaming Josh Allen if he's. We're not blaming Josh Allen for what happened when they played the Texans. I can't do that.
what was it? 3 straight playoff runs, had no turnovers before the Super Bowl. If he didn't play at that level, they wouldn't be there.
That's not true though. Because
That is true.
the last 2 seasons when the offense wasn't doing nothing, who was doing something?
Like I think you could nitpick and be like, oh, he could have did this on this play and this and that play, but like when you play in the elite defense, there's only so much you can do as an individual. You need better play calling. You need more weapons. You need more to offset what they have. If they are loaded on a defensive side, then you need either elite play calling, which I don't think the Bills have. I think at times they have very good play calling, and they have their games that may look elite, but I think they got very good play calling. But it's not they don't have elite enough talent to counter an elite defense.
Macho.
Defense went crazy.
Right.
Defense went crazy.
Right. So, because it's like when I say you don't believe me.
When
So
you
if he
play
said
the
he
Super
shootouts
Bowl.
against the Bills,
But remember against even the Texans last year, Pat at the end of the game did have to put the team on his back.
That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying
Yes,
is, Josh or Pat had help last year. Even when they played against the Ravens 2 years ago, when they won the championship, when they went to Baltimore,
Yeah, their defense is crazy.
Pat came out shooting.
Time out. They had 14 points, right?
Yep.
They hadn't scored another point all the way to the fourth quarter.
Finish the game with 17.
How is that even possible?
But
because the defense held them down.
But hold on for a minute. Because to your point, and to your point, that year Pat's offense wasn't great, and the Ravens had the number 2 defense in all of football.
Yeah.
But Pat scored first drive, second drive, and before Lamar Jackson blinked, he was like, "Wait, what?"
Was it a James Cook truther? Yeah, hey, that boy James Cook is nice, man. He a dog for sure.
I'm down 14-7.
And he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't have a bad game.
I'm not talking about a turnover. I'm not even talking about I'm just saying playing well. Because you say all that, but dog, you do know they ain't scored no more points
Agreed.
into the last quarter.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is a lot of these teams could survive because the defense is really, really good. They had
I
help.
agree.
So what I'm saying is like, I'm not making an excuse, but this is real football.
Yeah, I hear you.
And if you don't have no help on offense or defense, just because he's Josh Allen don't mean he's going to save the day. It don't work like that.
Let's zoom out for a moment, though.
Because I'm zoomed in.
Tom Brady won all the chips in the world. But a couple quarterbacks in the AFC was able to go take 1 or 2. Joe Flacco said, 2012, let me get one. A decrepit Peyton Manning said, 2015, let me come get one. Phillip Rivers never got one. Ben Roethlisberger said in 2008 against the Cardinals, let me go get one. So
The thing is, you gotta set your quarterback up for success. In no world is a quarterback dragging a team to a Super Bowl. This doesn't happen every year. This does not happen. You cannot rely on your quarterback to drag you to a Super Bowl. You need to give him a very good defense. Because every year, both teams in the Super Bowl have a good defense. You need to give him a very good defense, or you need to give him multiple. I'm not gonna say or. You need to give him a very good defense, and you need to give him multiple weapons on offense. If you don't have both of those, you're not going to Super Bowl. the Chiefs, when they won their Super Bowls, they didn't really have crazy weapons on offense, aside from when they won with Tyreek Hill. They didn't really have crazy weapons on offense, but the play calling was good enough, and the defense was good enough. And you got Mahomes. But again, Mahomes didn't drag them there. The play calling was really good. They had some athletes, and then the defense was really good. They had a top 5 defense consistently. And every year that Brady won a Super Bowl, they had a top 5, at worst top 10 defense. So you have to, you can't expect the quarterback to just drag you to the Super Bowl. It has to, you have to construct an entire team.
The greats found ways in the midst of Tom Brady's 20-year reign in the AFC, I'm only talking about, to go get one. If Josh is a great, please don't let Bo Nix get one before you. Please don't let Drake May get one before you. Like, please don't. Don't end up looking like Phillip Rivers in all these years from now. Like that's and so everything Shady. I'm not disagreeing with
would be
anything.
like the equivalent of Joe Flacco going to get one.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with Shady. Obviously, winning a Super Bowl takes more than a quarterback.
I like Bo Nix more than Joe Flacco at the moment. You know, like trajectory wise, I like Bo more than Joe. But you know, to each his own.
But if you zoom out to 5 and you just look at
what about Jaden Daniels last year? For like the Commanders roster was really wasn't that good. I mean, something there was something missing. What it was, I don't know. But you know, I feel like everybody says the Commanders overachieved last year, and I think that's somewhat accurate. You know, how they what was their regular season record? How they made it that far in the playoffs, I don't know, but. Commanders in 2024, they went 12-5. Wow. I don't know, man. I don't know how they did that good, but they did it. I think injuries ruined the Commanders this year. Yeah, for sure. But last year, I mean, the defense, if I'm not mistaken, that D-line was pretty good last year. I think I don't recall their corners being all that, but the safeties was good last year. The running backs was playing good. I mean, you got Terry McLaurin. JD was playing like a veteran. So I think they had a lot of the pieces that was necessary to make it far in the playoffs. But again, winning a Super Bowl, I think you just need more. You need a lot more. And I think that's what separates the teams who go to the Super Bowls every year. They just have more. This is it. They played an injured Lions defense in the division round. Eckler showed. Gary was hurt. Are you talking about this year? That he got hurt several times, yeah.
At it now, 15 years later.
I wish I could do the fantasy. I can't do the fantasy football stuff. Even them dudes y'all talking about, the average quarterbacks, like Joe Flacco, he had a great postseason, but he did have a gangster defense that was holding everything down. Yeah. Did he not?
Not 2012, Shady. The defense was cool. Remember, Ray Lewis had the tricep. Remember, Shady?
That still was a good defense. Nah, you can't downplay that. That still was a good defense.
Bro, you don't change history. That was cool.
I played him that year, though.
He didn't. Joe Flacco didn't. Joe Flacco played good in that playoffs, but he didn't just straight up drag them to the Super Bowl by himself. That was still a good defense.
All right, we beat him that year.
The 2012 Ravens defense was cool.
2012.
They were cool.
They were good. They were good.
They were good. They were cool.
Good,
like, I don't think Ed Reed was there. Ray.
If this is when they went to, Ed Reed was there. If this is who you're referring to, 2012. 2012 Ravens 10-6. This year they won a Super Bowl, right? Uh, 2012 Ravens. I don't want to get too off topic, but this made me curious of what that roster was looking like. Ed left after. Yeah, I remember Ed being there. I remember him being there for the chip. They had Joe Flacco, Ray Rice. Okay, so on defense, Haloti Nada, nice. What the heck? Pernell McPhee was nice. Albert McClellan, Terrell Suggs. Oh, so this no, so it's 2011. Let me go back. 2011. Haloti, Terrence Cody, Corey Redding, Terrell Suggs. I don't know much about McClain. The name sounds super familiar. Ray Lewis, Ladarius Webb was a good corner. Kerry Williams, good corner. Bernard Pollard, good safety. Ed Reed, obviously Hall of Fame safety. The secondary was nice. Front seven was nice. That was a good team.
Lewis wasn't
We
there.
gonna look it up. They were good.
They were
good.
They were good. But
What is the point that they're making? If you're talking about 2012,
Right? We beat them that year.
the 2012 Ravens defense was cool.
2012.
They were cool.
They were good. They were good. That year down.
Yeah.
Did he not?
Not 2012, Shay.
Even them, I wish I could do the fantasy. I can't. I can't do the fantasy football stuff. Even them dudes y'all talking about, the average quarterbacks, like Joe Flacco, he had a great postseason, but he did have a gangster defense that was holding everything down.
Yeah.
Did he not?
Not 2012, Shady. The defense was cool. Remember, Ray Lewis had the tricep. Remember, Shady, don't
yeah, Ray Lewis had. So if he's talking about that, that's the 2011. It's 2011 to 2012. That was a good defense. That's a good defense.
you don't change history.
I'm
That
not,
was cool.
I played him that year though, right? We beat him that year.
The 2012 Ravens defense was cool.
2012.
They were cool.
They were good. They were good.
They
were good.
They were
They
cool.
were
Like,
good,
I don't
bro.
think Ed Reed was there. Ray Lewis wasn't
We
there.
gonna look it up. They were good.
They
were good.
They were good. But still, Joe Flacco.
They were help.
Joe Flacco.
They were
had-
help.
Let me finish. Joe Flacco had 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. If Josh Allen does that,
for them four.
yes, sir. If Josh Allen does that, the Bills will go to a Super Bowl.
I don't believe that. I'm not gonna lie, because the Bills don't have the Ravens defense. They don't have. Bro, I like Maxwell Harrison, but he been in. You know what I'm saying? He been getting worked here and there. Do I trust him to cover? Do I trust him to cover Cortland Sutton one-on-one in the playoffs? No. Do I trust him to cover Nico Collins one-on-one in the playoffs? No. Do I trust him to cover Stephon Diggs? If Stephon Diggs is on full go for the playoffs? No. Do I trust, you know what I mean? Like that secondary, the front seven, they're not what the Ravens were at all. They don't have a Haloti Nada, they don't have an Ed Reed, they don't have a Bernard Pollard, they don't have a Ray Lewis. It's not the same. What's up, man? How we doing? They got Benford and Teron. I mean, they cool, but that's not what the Ravens had on defense. Is again, you need more. You need more. Straight up. I don't think the Bills. I don't think Josh Allen throwing 11 touchdowns and no picks is a guarantee that the Bills make it to a Super Bowl. I don't see that.
See, bro.
If Josh Allen has 11 tugs,
I just can't.
and
I
no
just
picks,
can't sit here and say like, yo, just because he's Josh Allen, he's supposed to do this and that and third. It don't work like that. It don't. Because the same way them guys are getting paid, he make all that money. So is the defense. And when I watch the way they guard the.
And again, there are three really good defenses in this playoffs that can give Josh Allen problems: the Chargers, the Texans, and the Broncos. If he matches up with any of them three, and he could hit all three, that would be tough. He could hit 2 out of 3. It's not likely to just bet on Josh Allen doing that, and then the defense is gonna have a good enough game.
Bills. That's why I talk like this, because it's like for Josh and them to be so he's such a great player, and then they had so much success in the Bills. Teams look forward to playing the Bills. Mm-hmm. They don't scare you. They got an awesome running back and a great quarterback, and that's it. And people can't wait to let them play him. If you don't believe me, watch the tape. You watch tape all day and night.
yeah, the Texans can't wait.
Everybody can't wait to play the Bills.
Jags defense will give him problems. The Jags defense is a sleeper. Where's Jacksonville at? Oh, they're top 10. So Jacksonville defense is top 10. Now, their run defense is ranked number 1. Have the Jags played the Bills this year? Okay, so the Jags were no, it's 2024. Okay, never mind. But they haven't played this year. The Jags defense is. I think they could potentially give them some problems. I think they can. It's not a guarantee, but I think they can.
Bills, because there's nothing that scares you. So, if y'all want to play this game because it's Josh Allen, cool. I'm a Josh fan. It's my boy, my friend. I want him the ball out. All I'm saying is that it's going to be hard as hell because he has to do every single thing.
Yeah.
We'll see, though.
He's got to be Superman, though. That's the reason why they're a 10-win team right now, though.
But that's the reason why
that's
he's
the standard.
But
yeah.
that's why he's MVP.
Yeah.
Like Shady said, we can't hold Caleb Williams to the same level we hold Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold Josh to the same level I hold Drake, Bo, Stroud.
Yeah.
Like, they have more help than you, Josh.
Yeah.
But you're better than them.
Yeah. He has to be Superman.
You have to be Superman.
No, bro. You need help. If you look at the track record of every quarterback that has won a Super Bowl, they have a good defense. If the Bills don't have a good defense, the odds of them winning a Super Bowl goes down. We're going to see good defenses in the Super Bowl. That's what we're gonna see. Where's Buffalo? Buffalo defense is 12. That's actually not bad. This is solid. It's above average. It's definitely it's you can somewhat significantly say it's above average. They right outside the top 10. That's not bad, but I don't know if I still don't know if I trust that defense to pull them to Super Bowl. You know, realistically. You see, and that's in yards. Let me look at points. Scoring defense, points per game. That's in yards. Buffalo, they're 17th in points per game. Yeah, I just don't know, man. Denver is 3 in points per game. Look at Kansas City. Kansas City number 5. That's a good defense this year, man. New England is number 7. Jacksonville is 10. So Jacksonville is top 10 in both categories. That's pretty good. That's 2 significant categories.
He has to be Superman. And I'm not like to Shady's point though.
Does Drake may really have much more help than Josh Allen? I don't know. I wouldn't say much more, but I say he has more. But it's not a large gap. I do agree with you there. I think the defense is slightly better, and I think offensively they're slightly better. But I think Josh Allen just being the better quarterback kind of edges it out a little bit. And they got some experience on that team, so it kind of I think that's what makes them a bit more even. But it's not a huge gap in terms of talent. It's not huge, I'll say that. Miami took James Cook away, and look what happened. Jags definitely doing the same. Jags do got the number 1 run defense. So yeah, I mean, hey, if you could take James Cook away and you know that they're gonna pass and force them to pass, you could match up with the receivers playing man coverage. It's not a bad. It don't sound like a bad recipe. Drake has 4 good wide receivers. Allen, best wide receiver is Keon. Technically Khalil Shakir. Technically. Are you taking Kincaid over Hunter Henry? Based off of the season, though. But do I think Kincaid is potentially more talented? Yeah, but as of right now, Hunter Henry's been playing better this season.
I'm not going to punish him for that. If he does end up having a rough game, okay, cool. Like, you had to go put on that cape. It looks a whole lot better if he does go do it, though. If he does go out there and he wins a championship and he gets Buffalo their first Super Bowl in history, and he does it with little, like, he in my opinion, announces himself as one of the best players of this era. Like, just period. I think he's right. I think he's a top 5 player in this era.
A guy like Josh, right? Like, everybody's depending on him. Everybody. Coach, everybody. Yeah. And these other guys we keep talking about, the team don't depend on them the way they depend on Josh.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Nor should they.
Nor should they.
I'm just
I'm
saying,
not
like,
depending on
yeah.
both. You know what's crazy though?
crazy,
I
like-
would go as far as to say Josh is in a lose situation.
There we go. Now we
'Cause think
now
about
you
it for a
keep
moment.
Come on now.
Josh gets to the Super Bowl. He better. Imagine Bo Nix beating Josh Allen in the playoffs. I don't even care if it's Nick Bonito, Hufanga, Trey Greenlaw.
The
Imagine a
Broncos will
world.
beat the.
But that's the casual take. Like that's the like looking at the optics of it. That's the casual take. Josh Allen got to be about Bo Nix. But that's not the matchup. The matchup is Josh Allen and the Broncos defense. That's the matchup right there. And you know, if the Giants can do it to the Broncos, do I think the Bills could do it to the Broncos? They might 33. If the Giants, no, I got that backwards. Never mind. Scratch what I just said. But I do think the Broncos are beatable. But I think I think the Bills are more beatable than the Broncos are.
Bills in the play. This is the
Hold
problem.
on. Imagine a world where Justin Herbert gets his first playoff win against Josh Allen. Ain't nobody gonna stop talking about it.
He can't let that happen.
Josh is supposed to win these games. Now, Shady's right as a real analyst who knows ball, but like, imagine Drake May beats Josh Allen in the playoffs. The great Josh Allen.
I mean,
Oh,
I don't know. Jalen Hurts beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
Super Bowl.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
not the same.
I hear you.
Yeah, but at the same time, if Josh does get all the way to the bowl and win it, he gets praised for dragging a sorry team
It's one of
all the way
the
to
best
it's one of
runs
the
we've ever seen, and it's
Correct.
amazing.
Yes.
I hope.
So just
I hope. But conversely, you could say, think about this for a moment. Conversely, we could say he beat Drake May in his second year. He beat Bo Nix in his second.
That's the hater take, though. You know, if Josh can beat them, knowing the situation, you know, that's it's applaudable. You know, we can applaud that. If Josh can take that team to the Super Bowl, that's applaudable. And honestly, the only way I see them even getting to the Super Bowl, that defense is going to have to. They're gonna have to tighten up, because I don't see the Bills all of a sudden becoming a mistake-free offense. They're going to turn the ball over in the offseason. They're going to play again, the Texans, the Broncos, the Chargers, and maybe even the Jags. So you're going to play 4 statistically good defenses. 4 top 10 defenses are in your playoff bracket. So it's not gonna there's not gonna be turnover free football. So their defense is going to have to help them out.
Year he beat C.J. Stroud, and then he got there, and he like conversely, what people
to the
do.
casual, yes, for
Yes,
sure.
yeah.
But like you said, the people that know football, because you can't wig out and be like, oh my gosh, he lost to Drake May, he lost to Bo Nix. But then also when he beats them, then you're like, he beat Drake May.
Did you realize y'all can find yourself at the 3rd seed next week since Jags got Denver next week? That would be tough. That would be tough. And I can see Denver beating the Jags. But I mean, the Texans winning the division is crazy considering how they started the season. But yeah, I mean, it is very much realistic. The Jags' remainder of schedule is harder than the Texans' remainder of schedule, for sure. The Jags could lose potentially at least 2 more games. Potentially. We basically the Jets, but with the best quarterback. Interesting. If Texans and Bills play, I trust Allen more coming in the playoffs. I mean, but the Texans have knocked Josh Allen out the playoffs twice already in his career, and this is going to be the best Texans team that he's ever faced. Those teams weren't in terms of defense. This is going to be the best Texans team that he's ever faced, and I mean, it's safe to say that safe to say it's better to trust Josh, but it's a team game. Like tired? Yeah, nah, I'm tired. I'm ready to lay it down, but it's all good. Take me a nap in a little bit. We good though. To be fair, he was on bad Bills teams. But I mean, like, it's not like the team that they got right now is great. They're not bad for sure, but it's not. It's not going to be a cakewalk. I'll say that. Like, it's to say you trust Josh Allen more than C.J. Stroud is fair, but just like it's about trusting the Bills as a team over the Texans as a team. It's about trusting Sean McDermott as a coach over DeMeco Ryans as a coach. Because do I trust Josh Allen to pull his team to a victory over the Texans? It's possible, but based off of how they played them the first time, is that likely? I don't know.
Yeah, man,
This is
you know
also
what I
why I
mean?
hate
You
the,
gotta, you know.
I'm a fan of Avengers
gotta
movies.
This is also why.
Yeah. I actually just watched I just watched The Marvels the other day. I watched Captain America: Brave New World, and I watched Fantastic Four. And I watched I went on a little binge, and I caught up, kind of got caught up with the MCU a little bit, and I watched what's that? The New Avengers. I can't think of the name they changed it to. But yeah, I rock with it. Do you trust the Texans? No, I don't trust the Texans. Of course not. I mean, the offense. The offense is not trustworthy. But I can say the same thing. You know, there are aspects about every team in the AFC that's not trustworthy. If I had to choose a defense that I trust the most in the entire AFC playoffs, I'm choosing the Texans defense. If I had to choose an offense I trust the most in the entire AFC playoffs, I'm choosing the Patriots offense. If I had to choose a QB I trust the most in the entire playoffs, I'm choosing Josh Allen. But there is no clear-cut team like that has everything that I trust the most. Everybody in the AFC has deficiencies. Everybody. Only teams that I feel like have minimal deficiencies, for the most part. I think the Patriots they got a little bit less. I don't trust them enough. But I will go to the NFC and say the Rams or the Eagles. I trust them the most out of any team in the NFL right now to get a chip. The trailer for Doomsday just came out. Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Lamar? Do I trust? I mean, technically they're not in the playoffs right now, but do I trust Lamar more than I trust Josh Allen right now going into the playoffs? I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't think anyone in the AFC is really on the Rams or maybe even the Seahawks level. That's not far off. That's not far off. The Seahawks schedule. Have they competed with anybody in the AFC? Yeah. Seahawks, Packers, NFC, AFC, NFC, AFC. Oh, the Jags made it a close game. It's a one-position game. Texans, this got out of hand, but the Texans offense was sorry this game. I'm not gonna lie. Offense was sorry. If the offense could clean it up, I think we would have a shot against the Seahawks, but as a big if. And they barely beat the Colts. And the Texans beat the Colts. I wouldn't be mad at a potential do I think on the right day the Texans could beat the Seahawks? I do think so. I think so. But I think majority of that statement is fair. Seahawks almost lost to Rivers. Nobody's afraid of them. We gonna see. I do feel like the Seahawks had more hype earlier in the season than they do right now, but I still think I think they're a respectable football team. Seattle's just lacking in the run game. That's fair, but I think their play calling offensively, it's it was looking really good at one point, and it's starting to look a little basic right now. Now I could be wrong. I could be. It looks simple. I'll say that it looks simple. Like it's simple and it works against teams who aren't disciplined or aren't great defensively. But if it's a team that's good defensively, it's it's a chance it's not going to go as well. You know what I mean? I mean, have they played many good defenses this year? They played the 49ers. That's a good defense. One possession game. They played the Jags. Good defense, one possession game. The Texans. Now the Texans, that the offense was selling, but not a one possession game, but it's taking it with a grain of salt. They played the Rams. They lost to the Rams. That's a good defense. And they barely beat the Colts, and that's a good defense. Now the Falcons, on paper, their corner's not good. Never mind. They front seven is good. I like their front seven, but their corner's not good. I'm not gonna call them a good defense, but they got a lot of potential. But I think the Seahawks, they do what they're supposed to do. You know, like when they play defenses that aren't great, they do what they're supposed to do. The NFC, you might can pick a team that you more so trust than the AFC. It's no clear team from there. I trust going to the Super Bowl. Like I said, for me, it's just the Rams and the Eagles. I trust the Seahawks to be the third best team in the NFC, but I don't trust them. I don't trust them on the same level that I trust the Rams and the Eagles. Those would be my Super Bowl favorites right now, like NFC favorites. I'll say that. Terrell is nice. But he didn't play good against JSN, and he just played bad against Mike Evans. He a good corner, but he's not I wouldn't he a good corner. The Eagles have lost 3 in a row or 3 of their last 4. No, and that's 100% fair. But when it comes playoff time, I just trust them more because they weren't great last year offensively. I mean, Saquon had a really good season, but they still got it done in the playoffs. It was like, I mean, it's not like Smitty was going off last year. AJ Brown didn't go off last year. Jalen Hurts was not going off last year. It was just Saquon. Now I know the offense is worse this year, but they still was able to get back to a Super Bowl. So I mean, saying the Seahawks are fraudulent. I wouldn't go as far to call them frauds. I just they got to make me believe it. I got to see it to believe it with them. You know, they're gonna have to go to a Super Bowl. Is it, or knock off the Eagles or the Rams in the playoffs? Anybody else that they beat in the playoffs, I'm not really concerned. We'll see. Right now, Eagles will be playing 49ers in playoffs, I think. I don't know if Eagles will win that. I think Eagles can win that. I think that's pretty winnable for them. It's safe to say based off of how they played this regular season, that it's a good chance that they wouldn't, but I think it's winnable. I think it's very winnable. But, that's a different conversation. You know, it's just like specifically again looking at it from a playoff perspective and not trying to like bring. It's me more so giving them the benefit of the doubt in the playoffs. Healthy Packers easily beating all of the NFC teams except Rams. I disagree with that. No, I don't think the Packers are easily beating NFC teams. I think they I think all the NFC teams are a challenge for each other. I just think the Rams look the most polished. I don't think the NFC is just like the AFC. It's just the Rams are above everybody else. The Rams are the only one who look like and again, I'm giving the Eagles benefit of the doubt, but the Rams and the Eagles to me are the only ones who look like like NFC favorites. Are Bears in the first in the division again after Packers lost? Go eat some breakfast, but the Rams are the best team. Yeah, I agree with that. Clinch playoff spot. Nobody does, but they winning games. The most I trust from the AFC is maybe the Broncos. I don't trust the Bills. I think Josh Allen has the worst in a while. Maybe the Patriots. What you mean has the worst? Like a ACL just got confirmed. I don't trust the Bears at all. And they're not in my trust category. Are the Dolphins a sleeper right now? I don't understand this. How can they be eliminated from playoff? Okay. Division record. Division. Okay, never mind. Excuse me. I keep forgetting that division record. It's not about wins. It starts with division. Are the Dolphins a sleeper? The reason why I'm not really big on that is because the Texans' remaining schedule is kind of easy. So I don't see nobody knocking out the Texans at this point. Is it impossible? No, but their remaining schedule is somewhat favorable. But the Dolphins, are they a sleeper team? Yes, I think they can beat almost anybody. But I just don't see the Texans like losing 2 more games. You know, maybe they lose 1 more. I don't see them losing 2 more. The Dolphins play the Steelers. They can beat them and they can lose to them. They play the Bucks. They can beat them and lose to them. They play the Patriots. They can beat them and lose to them. They play the Bengals. All of these are 50-50 games. The Texans. The Texans play the Raiders. They're going to beat the Raiders. They play the Chargers. This is going to be interesting, but I think they could beat the Chargers. And then they play the Colts. I think it's safe to say they're going to beat the Colts. They got a pretty winnable schedule right now. Texans could easily move up to the 5th slot by the end of the season. I trust Ben Johnson, though. I don't know about Caleb. Ben Johnson, cool, but I don't know. Browns defense isn't elite anymore. I don't know. I think they're still pretty good. I think they're a pretty good defense. Dang, they have dropped. They're 18th in points allowed now. What the heck? They was up there. They're 3rd in yards per game, but they're 18th in points allowed. Interesting. That's a nice little Can't think of the term. Texans D-line gonna kill the Chargers. You know, everybody been saying that, and I hope that does happen. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, realistically, the Texans could win all three of these last games. This is about the only 50-50 one. The Colts is 50-50 because it's a divisional game, but the Texans have the edge. Like I would favor the Texans in both of these matchups. The Chargers, you could argue this is a 50-50 game, but it's gonna be a good defensive matchup. This is gonna be a very, very fun defensive matchup. Bills still have to play the Eagles. The Chargers got to play Texans and Cowboys. Playoff picture will look really weird by the end of the season. Herbert going into the playoffs with backup linemen. And you know, it's about matchups because if there's a team who's in the playoffs that don't have elite pass rushers, that if he can match up with one of those teams, he can knock somebody off. But you know, honestly, man, if I had to choose, I would probably go with the teams that have the best defenses and that might be Texans Broncos to be the favorite. I might go with them too. And the Broncos offense, I mean, they're not that much better than the Texans offense, if I'm being honest with you. The play calling is better, but I mean, when they played each other, it was 18-14. So it's not like it was a high scoring affair from the Broncos. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But I feel like I trust defense more than anything at this point. We'll see. We trust in the playoffs more, Herbert or Lawrence. Right now, Trevor Lawrence, and that's not it's not even that I trust Trevor Lawrence more than I trust Justin Herbert. The offensive play calling for the Jags has looked better than the offensive play calling for the Chargers. Their play calling has looked so much better. That's what I trust more. Because you can have a great quarterback, but if the play calling is trash, he's going to be capped. We're not going to see him perform his best, and that's what I think the Chargers have been going through as of late. In my opinion, I think the Rams will win the Super Bowl. I think they're favored. I definitely think they're favored.
Speaking of these other teams in the AFC.
How long is Adams hurt? I don't know if that's expected. Texans not dropping 40 on the Cowboys though. Nah, I don't. I mean, actually, maybe they would. I don't think so, but maybe they would. Who knows? They've had two 40-point games this season, so maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. Bucks can win out, but their defense is so bad. Can't trust them. Bro, it's crazy. I seen Jacob Parrish allowed completion percentage is like 80 something percent this year when targeted. Now I need to watch the film and I want to take that with a grain of salt because he plays in the slot, so he could be giving up like short stuff. So, but that is a crazy high allowed completion percentage. But I like bro, but I'm curious. I look forward to watching that and seeing the context of that. I'm a Ravens fan, so if we make playoffs, I want the Chargers to beat the Texans. Don't want to play the Texans first round. It's interesting, man. It's definitely interesting because this playoffs is gonna be very big in terms of like matchups. You know, like just simply not even if this team is straight up better than this team, but how does this team match up against this team? You know, It's not about this quarterback being better than this quarterback or this coach being significantly better than this coach, because it's not a lot of significant factors aside from, you know, maybe 2 elite defenses. But it's definitely it's gonna be very interesting. We drafted secondary 2 years in a row, and the secondary is still bad. That's crazy. How is Jacob Parrish been? Jacob Parrish and Benjamin Morrison. How have they been from your perspective since you watched them more? I'm not watching them like that, so I can't really say much. Chiefs gonna be down bad too if they roll with Minshew. If I'm them, you sign a quarterback in free agency. You sign a reliable guy in free agency, and I think Mahomes gonna be ready by week 1. Yeah, are these the 2 hottest teams in the AFC?
And welcome to the NFL Today on YouTube. JB along with Coach Bill Cowher, Nate Burleson, and Matt Ryan.
Heike has been very good.
Say the early part of the season, these teams
No shot he ready by week 1.
Very much.
I mean, Diggs was ready by week 1, and he tore his ACL last year. Players have been coming back quick from Achilles and ACL injuries. It's been the recovery process on that's been
the teams I'm talking about,
sped up. Them doctors getting better.
Of course, the Houston Texans. But check this out. Jaguars have won 5 straight.
We'll see.
Now,
we'll see.
With the spot secured in the playoffs, if they
the Jaguars have won 5 straight. Interesting. So Jags won 5 straight. Texans won 6 straight.
Texans 6 straight. They're 9-2 in the last 11. What's been the key to their turnaround?
Well, I
think Mahomes comes back, is ready. We'll see.
C.J. Stroud, I think, has started to find his own right now. And again, you look at what they were able to do when he was out. They were still able to win those 3 games, and that was huge. And I think for Jackson,
came back fast.
The difference is Trevor Lawrence. What he's done in they've won 6 of their last 7 games, and Liam Cohen has kind of find what they did. The pickup of Jacoby Myers has been huge for them in terms of what he's been able to bring to them from a passing game standpoint. But I think this guy right here has played as well as he's played since he's been down in Jacksonville right now. And ATN's playing, and you know what? They're playing great defense too. They're getting turnovers on defense, and you know, again, both of these teams are teams you don't want to play. You're talking about hot teams at the right time of year. They both exhibit that right now.
Coach, you're spot on, and you mentioned that defense. I don't believe they're getting enough love.
Well, ETN, he needs the ball in his hands more. But you know, I think Pat is gonna have the resources to get one of them really good doctors, and I could see him coming back sooner than expected. Just Washington tore his Achilles in July and came back in December. That's crazy. But, bro, it's been wild. Like over the last 2 or 3 years, I've been seeing a lot of Achilles and ACL injuries. Like the recovery timelines has been shortened significantly. How old is Pat? 30. Who I trust more, Trevor Lawrence or Jordan Love? As of right now, Trevor Lawrence. You know, again, just based off of how he's been playing lately, and again, it's more so I think predicated towards the play calling as well. But as of right now, I'll take Trevor Lawrence right now.
We're going to compliment Trevor Lawrence because he deserves it. But that defense is stepping up big for the squad. You know, I love this offense because they have pass catchers now making plays. You get Brian Thomas Jr. back in the lineup, and then you trade for Jacoby Myers. And the running backs, like you can give them the traditional in between the tackles, handoffs, but the way that they utilize their backs in the passing game is really a huge element because they're finding these matchups and they are.
They're not consistent using ETN in the passing game. They're not consistent using their running backs in general. You know, like it's either ETN day or Basil Tutton day. And it's either ETN day, neither running back day, or they're straight up 50-50 with ETN and Tutton.
Exposing them, whether it's the running backs lined up against linebackers or safeties, and Trevor Lawrence is doing such a good job.
If Lawrence plays well, they can make a run.
Where to go with the ball.
I just don't know. I don't know about the Jags DBs. Like, I don't know if I trust them. Like, they could be nice. I don't know. Let me see what they pass defense look like. This is total defense. Total defense, they're 10. What is their passing defense? Opponent passing yards a game. They're ranked 20th in passing defense. Yeah, I don't know if I trust their DBs. You know, like the front seven is cool, but I don't know.
And also taking care of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Newsome, their only solid DB.
had written down here the same thing.
I wonder if Travis wasn't injured, would he do mostly defense since the offense been looking good? I think they still would be confused with Travis at this point. I don't know. They seem confused all season. I don't know if they would have it figured out right now. I think him being hurt makes it a problem that they don't have to worry about figuring out. But I don't know, genuinely. Jordan Lewis, Newsome, Monteric Brown, Jones, Urian. The Packers season over. It's season not over. I mean, they could maybe upset somebody, but are they a Super Bowl candidate? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's. I wouldn't take them serious as a Super Bowl candidate.
You guys said defense, improve quarterback play for both of them. Right. And that's really been the common theme amongst both.
Interesting,
when I look
Nick.
At Jacksonville, I don't think it can be understated how big of an impact Liam Cohen has had on Trevor Lawrence. Right. I think you've talked about it, Coach Nate. We've said it as we're sitting here. His last 3 or 4 weeks have been the best stretch of his career. And I think that's starting with a disciplined coaching approach from Liam Cohen of saying, here is the scheme, here are the pieces, here are how we're trying to use these pieces. I want you to play in rhythm. It can't all be play extension. It can't all be off schedule. We've got to start hitting these things. And the Jakobi Meyers pickup, like you guys mentioned, the ability to use the middle of the football field, that's something that's a staple of the Los Angeles Rams, which is the coaching tree that Liam Cohen comes from. I think he's starting to piece those things together to allow Trevor Lawrence to have his best come out.
You know what, Matt, and you've elaborated on what the coach has done. Our coach has always said coaching matters. Yes. Let's take a look at.
Imagine how Lawrence would cook now with Trav. I don't know if he would cook because you still got Parker Washington, who was getting more targets than Trav when he was there. They added Jakobi Meyers, who would get more targets than Trav, and you still got Brian Thomas Jr., who you're not finna throw Brian Thomas Jr. on the bench. So I don't know how they would fit Travis in there. Personally. Yeah, so the Super Bowl contenders. Who you talking about, balling? Need Packers to be first round exits. Packers might they might upset somebody in a wild card. I wouldn't be surprised. Watch the Rams get this belt on Thursday. It should be a good game. Should be. Looks like Matt Ryan. Yes, that's Matt Ryan.
Liam Cohen in the locker room of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think if the Rams have Puka and Devontae, I think they're gonna win by more than one possession. Because the fact that y'all were able to stifle Sam Darnold enough to throw 4 picks, I don't know how many of those were tipped, but the fact that I don't think any of them were tipped. I could be wrong, but the fact that y'all were able to force him to throw 4 interceptions. They have some game plan. They have some successful game plan in mind that they can go back to and tweak and make better. Yeah, he threw 4. Travis need to be a full-time corner. I think he could play both full-time, honestly, bro. But it is what it is. It is what it is. That's just my opinion. I think Drake May is going to win MVP, but I think Super Bowl matchup not. I don't think Drake not winning over Matthew Stafford, especially not at this point. I don't think so. Trav better wide receiver in the corner. I think Trav has very good natural talent as a receiver, and if you polish that, he got elite potential as a receiver. But he got good natural talent in the corner too. So I mean, I don't see a reason not to play him on both sides. You know, just let him. I would just ask Trav, how do you feel? And let him dictate when he wants to come out the game. That's what I would do. I wouldn't try to control it, you know. I would just ask him how you feel.
Hey. 6 total touchdowns.
I think for the first time, Trevor Lawrence, to me,
He said he would be sold with Jags.
he feels like the leader of that football team. I feel like there's been a lot of questions around him. We reaching the maximum, and all the different coaches have come and gone.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen has also allowed him to take ownership over this football team, that being Trevor Lawrence. So I look at him right now, the confidence with which he's playing and the confidence with which he sounds. Because you listen to his press conferences right now, it's not almost about like, well, I can do this or I can do that. He knows where they're at.
Yeah.
Oh, this is he topped the most wins by Jags head coach in their first season. 2017. It's 2017 when the Jags had that nice defense. So the fact that they're doing this with not a great defense, it's a solid defense. The fact that they're doing this is commendable. I can definitely commend them that. Is Lawrence that guy? I think Trevor Lawrence is a talented quarterback. He had a lot of potential. I think he's good. I just think we haven't seen that because he's been in arguably the most dysfunctional franchise since he's been in the league. So, I think seeing his full potential is to be determined. But I think he's a good quarterback.
He feels very comfortable with who he is and the skin he's in. And I'll tell you what, it's all of a sudden you can see it starting to kind of penetrate around him. It's starting to bleed down into the rest of this football team. He's got a very balanced football team right now. So, I mean, that kid right now is growing up before our eyes. I know it takes some people sometimes a long time.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen has had a tremendous impact on him.
But listen, you make a good point, though. He's
Top
been
10 is
criticized
crazy.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I've said, I've questioned whether he's going to be the future of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm sure he has heard all of these things. All the while, you're getting paid all of that money, and with money comes the pressure of delivering week in and week out. And then also, being on a team that you know has a chance also plays a role with how you approach it as a leader and as a player and as a quarterback. So give credit where credit is due. Trevor Lawrence is playing, I would say, the best football of his career right now.
Yeah, and I think you talk about it, big contracts for quarterbacks and the investment that an organization makes into that quarterback. Well, you better invest around him, too. And you better go and support him with the pieces that he needs to be supported with. And I think the addition of Liam Cohen on.
If you trust the QB more, doesn't that mean you think he's better? But better than who? Just because I trust him doesn't mean that I think he's a top 10 quarterback. I can trust Jordan Love, but I don't think Jordan Love's a top 10 quarterback. You know that? I mean, I can trust Jalen Hurts. I can name 10 quarterbacks that's arguably playing better than Jalen Hurts right now. So not even arguably. I can name probably 15, but. I'm gonna save that for after this video. Just remind me after this video. I got you. What would you say your Super Bowl favorite is? My favorite Super Bowl since watching football. Probably the Seahawks, bro. Because I used to like defense so much. At that point in time. Seahawks, Patriots. I mean, they both had good defenses. Patriots, Rams. Both good defenses. I used to like the Steelers a lot when I was younger. I don't really got one specific favorite though, but those are definitely some good ones. Darnold not top 10. Darnold top 10 for sure. He top 10 right now.
On that offensive side of the ball and saying, you know what, we in that building believe Trevor Lawrence is the guy. We're going to try and find the best we can to support around him for the long term. The other thing I love in that video about Liam Cohen, too, is the energy.
Yeah.
So there's the offensive scheme, there's the discipline with which he's coaching Trevor, but you're also trying to create a new culture there in Jacksonville. Yeah. And you can feel that youthful energy and that buzz and that excitement. I think that's infectious to the players.
And it is. I'll tell you else has that is D'Amico Ryan.
Yes.
You talk about infectious. You look at him in the locker room, and I'll tell you, let's give some credit. You talk about this season for the Houston Texans. Davis Mills doesn't come in and win those 3 games.
Absolutely.
We're not even talking about that.
Absolutely.
Yep. So let's talk about Davis Mills on the sideline. He did what he was supposed to do. But this defense D'Amico Ryans and C.J. Stroud now all of a sudden starting to do it. Woody Marks is coming there giving a little bit of a running game right now. Some young receivers are starting to step
Nico
up.
Collins,
I look forward to seeing what this young running back Jawar Jordan is gonna do moving forward. Bro just came in out of nowhere and bust out a 100-yard game. Now I know it's the Cardinals, so I'm gonna take that with a huge grain of salt. But I don't know if Woody has had a 100-yard game this year. Nick Chubb for sure hasn't. So I think that's interesting.
making
Nico
plays
Collins is back.
every single week.
This is a football team. I watched them against.
I used to like Steelers and Ravens. I'm not gonna front to you. But when I first started watching football, the Steelers were one of the best teams. The Ravens ended up winning the Super Bowl after them, but the Steelers, they kind of had like a little dynasty going at that point in time. But Ray Lewis was my favorite defensive player. Just how he played and everything. But I got plenty of love for the Ravens for sure. You think Kyler Murray leaving the Cardinals? I think they're done with Kyler Murray. I think so. It's unfortunate, but I could be wrong. But I think they are.
The Kansas City Chiefs, when the Kansas City Chiefs were
Jags, Texans, AFC Championship, that would be crazy.
Toe to toe.
That would be
That is
crazy.
one football team defensively. You're going to get in there. I wouldn't want to play them. I think it's the best.
That'd be
defense
fun to
in
watch
football
for
right
sure.
now, playing at the highest of levels, and they got a quarterback who's
Jags ain't making it that far.
right now.
Yeah.
And they got a running game that goes with that.
Yeah.
The Houston Texans, to me, I'll tell you what, you better buckle it up and you better get.
You better buckle it up. Listen, that defense is fast. They are physical, and they believe that they are the best defense in the NFL. You see it when they're out there on the field. They fly around, and then, like you said, that also gives your quarterback confidence.
Yeah.
Knowing that I have a defense that is as good as Trevor Lawrence said it a while ago. He said, "Hey, listen, you trip."
So he matched Davis Mills' record. They're 3-0 over the last 6.
Yourself up. You learn not to trip yourself up, and then you move forward. So he understands, all right, as talented as I am, as talented as I believe this offense is, I can't throw the game away when I have a good defense like I have.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things that's important for the Houston Texans is, what wins in the playoffs? Defense, reliable defense, and pass rushers that can win without having to rush more than 4.
Oh, no question.
And they've got a defense where you've got Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson on both sides, and it doesn't require you to pressure. You can play coverage behind that. The other thing I think they got to be sitting there and licking their chops about is that currently right now in the AFC, Joe Burrow's not in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes isn't in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson's currently not in the playoffs. And you've had Josh Allen's number every time you've played him. This is a scary team that when you look at the AFC playoff picture of a team that can make a run during that 17 tournament of the AFC, they could be scary. They could be very scary.
H-Town, stand up.
So now we understand why Matt Ryan could have well been an attorney as well, too. But you made the point earlier on, Bill talks about self-scouting.
Yeah.
That also applies to leadership.
Yeah.
D'Amico Ryans, who is a marvelous inspirational leader, step back and he becomes the CEO of things to be able to go wherever the need is. Significant move on the part of the Texans in that regard.
Yeah, listen, at one point it seemed like their season was falling apart. And your leadership has to step up. Coach, you know this. When players are starting to question where they are in the season, they start looking at the scoreboard and looking at other teams and records. All of a sudden, the coach has to come in and say, hey, we're all right. We're good. We're going to get through this. And then we're going to get our quarterback back. Hey, defense, I'm going to need you to hold us down. I'm going to need you to be the best part of our team for the next handful of weeks until offense figures it out. And you can tell D'Amico was not wavering at all at any point this season. When we were all questioning whether the Houston Texans were as good as we said they were before the season, he believed the whole time. And his team did too.
And I think one of the things, and Coach, you could probably speak to this better than anybody on this desk, but as a head coach, you have to be a master problem solver. And I think 2 things were true in that time. D'Amico felt like it was best for him to step back from that play calling role and allow his assistant coaches to go into that. He also had to go over to the offensive side of the ball and say, what we have been doing is not good enough.
Correct.
And we have to spend and invest more time there. And that's what I think great leaders do.
And I think
they figure out what the problem is, and they adapt and they adjust.
Adapt, adjust.
I do kind of respect that because, I mean, I was safely assuming that they was gonna fire the OC. They didn't. He's gotten better. Is he good yet? No, but he has gotten better. So I can kind of respect that. But you know, we still need more. We sure still need more. Rams going to Super Bowl. If I want a team to win it, it would definitely Texans. That would be interesting. That'd be very interesting. I mean, obviously it'd be carried by the defense, but that'd be crazy. Genuinely. I think Texans make as far as the AFC Championship. I think they face the Broncos. It would just. I think whoever turns the ball over the most is who's going to lose that game. You know. I think this is what that would come down to. If the Texans can force the Broncos to turn the ball over more, Texans win that. If the Broncos can do it, I think Broncos win it. Let me see who had more turnovers the last time that they played. Oh wow, Davis Mills didn't throw a pick. Any fumbles? Turnovers, fumbles lost. So Davis Mills, so they threw a pick and lost the fumble, and we still lost, and we had time of possession. That's crazy. But this was Davis Mills' first game in 3 years, so he was rusty. So I'm gonna take this with a grain of salt. If this was CJ, we probably would have won this game. We had more time of possession, and we won a turnover battle. It's possible. It's from a perspective, it's possible we could have won that game.
And you're constantly tweaking. You're constantly.
Broncos still
tweaking
iffy to me. No, Broncos are iffy to me. Their play calling not consistent enough offensively. They scored 13 versus the Jets, and they scored 10 versus the or 11 versus the Raiders. That's questionable. That's very questionable. Now, they're a good team, but I don't trust they play calling to be elite when it matters most. You know, because it's like the Seahawks. The Seahawks, they'll struggle against good teams, but when it comes to or a good defense, they'll struggle against a good defense. But whenever they play a bad team, they beat them. Like they beat the teams that they're supposed to beat by a margin, you know. And it's just as a winning team, you shouldn't be struggling with bad teams, you know. Do you trust Bo Nix or Sean Payton? I trust Bo Nix more than I trust Sean Payton. Bo Nix is gonna stick to the script. Sean Payton play calling, the defensive coordinator might figure him out. Bo Nix is gonna do what you tell him to do. I don't think it's necessarily a Bo Nix issue. I think it's more of a play calling issue. Ever since they almost lost to the Jets, I'm gonna never forget. Broncos been in close games all year. They pulling it off though. It's facts. It's facts. Hawks really the only team that haven't lost a game they weren't supposed to win. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because the Rams lost to the Panthers, and they was for sure supposed to win that one. But I can overlook that. Like I can very much overlook that because that's the only time that they've let that happen this year.
Very last game, which is sitting there and recognizing where you are, staying in the now.
And the Panthers are not a team who's picking in the top 5. They're a middle of the pack team, so they're a competitive football team.
Stay in the now. Just take it from week to week. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze it. Just tweak it along the way. Continue to maybe do something a little bit different, but don't lose sight of who your identity is. And this identity of this Houston Texan football team is you're going to have to beat us. We're not going to beat ourselves.
No doubt.
Good luck. Pack your lunch. It's going to be a while.
Bill, we've seen it too many times with other coaches commending you. Let me have you close it out. That all seems to fall under the heading to me of controlling the narrative.
Controlling the narrative.
Meaning?
And controlling the narrative and managing your emotions. I think right now, as you get involved with this time of year, is you can get caught up with all the narratives that are coming at you, the finality of what's taking place, all the time we put into it, managing your emotions, taking it right now, week to week, stay in the now. When you're doing something special, you don't reflect, you don't speculate. You don't ponder what.
I think if the Chargers' offensive line wasn't injured, they would make the AFC Championship game. I think their running game is better this year than last year, and I think defense better. I agree with that, but I think what's the same is their passing game. Their passing game is mid. It looked good at the beginning of the season at times, and they have a good receiving core on paper, but it's the production is not great at all. It hasn't improved. And if they get matched up with a team who can stop the run, then who can stop the – let's say they get matched up with a team like if the Texans or the Broncos, they can stop the run and play good coverage. If they get matched up with the Jags, they can probably beat the Jags because the Jags can stop the run, but they're not guaranteed to stop the pass. But if you get a team who can stop the run and play good coverage, I don't really see them doing crazy, like doing them really well. What's up, dude? Jags dominated them, though? Oh, really? I don't recall this. Never mind, then. Oh, my gosh. So, so the Jags play good coverage then? That had to have happened. So if they get matched up with a team that could take away their run game, they pass game not all that. Wow. And that's what they did. They took away the run. So I don't. Yeah. Slater will improve that. One man ain't gonna do all that though. I'm not gonna lie to you. When you got a unit, a defensive unit that's good, it completely taking the run game away. You need an elite offensive line, and if the offensive line is not elite, that's not gonna happen.
Could be you don't think about what you just did. You stay week to week, constantly tweaking what you're trying to do, staying there focused and understand what your identity is, and don't deviate from your identity. Tweak it, a little bit of something here or there, but you know what? We are a tough, physical football team. And you know what? You come to play us, we're not going to beat.
Yeah, no. Hey, Nate starts backing up. Hey, Matt, because our producer, Drew Kaliski, said, hey, the chin. No. He said the chin is coming out because he's a Hall of Fame motivator.
That's right.
Hey, folks, and you'll get that and more every Sunday on the NFL Today right here on CBS.
All right, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section on the AFC playoff picture and these two teams in the AFC, man. AFC South looks very interesting. N'Kobe is the reason why our defense has been elite. I didn't say N'Kobe's not elite. I don't think N'Kobe's elite anyway, but I never said that. That was never even a topic. Yeah, they got some more on here. Oh, Knicks after the Packers' big win. Are the Bears back? Let me take a quick leak. Hold on. I got to use the restroom real quick.
Ah, yes.
Slater and Joe out. We letting Goddard walk. Bears mid. The Chargers could easily lose to the Steelers first round. I think that's possible. I think that's possible. Oh, I definitely don't think that's impossible. Dude, if you had to choose, who do you franchise tag, re-sign, and cut between Goddard, Nakobe Dean, and who did you say? Did you say Reed Blankenship sec? Was Reed the other one? No, it wasn't Reed. No. Jalen Phillips. That's who it was. Throw Nakobe Dean in there. I mean, throw Reed in there too. Jalen Phillips. Goddard, Reed, then JD Jalen. Who is Dan? So who out of that, who would you franchise tag, re-sign, and who would you cut or let walk? I guess I gotta play the Eagles. He said I gotta play for the Eagles. Interesting. Tag Jalen. Resign JD. Hold on. It's about Jahan Dotson. Interesting. Let Reed and Goddard walk. Resign JD and Nakobe. I think that's possible. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's possible. You can't keep all of them, but I think Jahan would be cheap. Possibly, but he might test the market though. We'll see. We'll see about that. You gotta keep Reed for cheap. Jordan Davis. You got a contract coming up. I'll see him on here. Oh, y'all gotta re-sign Jordan Davis too. I don't know. I don't know how y'all gonna finesse that. I need to look into that. I was trying to study the cap, how the cap works, yesterday, but I didn't feel like it was a lot of reading. I feel like reading all of it. They picked up his fifth year option. All right. Are the Bears back?
So welcome inside our CBS Sports Studios. I'm Adam Shine alongside my guy, the great Kyle Long. And Kyle, I want to give some love to the Bears because there might have been, games that were sexier this week in the NFL or victories that you look at and say, oh, that's a statement. This is a statement. Let me tell you something. Chicago had a golden opportunity to beat Green Bay. They didn't. Credit the Packers.
Sit when were the Bears on?
There's things at the end you can criticize Chicago for.
I think the Bears are a good team. I don't trust them offensively enough. Now, are there any really good run defenses in the NFC right now? I don't know. Let me look at that. Are there any really good run defense in the NFC? I don't know. But if you can stop their run game and force them to pass it consistently, I don't know if I don't know if I trust them like that. Seattle has a number 3 run defense. Okay. Have they played Seattle this year? I don't think, no, they haven't. They all the best run defenses are in the AFC. Goodness gracious. Green Bay, but they just lost Micah, and then you got the Rams. I think dang. So really nobody in the NFC, the Bears could do a little something. I'm not gonna lie. If they don't get matched up with the Rams or the Seahawks, they could do a little something in the playoffs. Because I think if you take away that run game, I think you can definitely beat them.
Chicago to win that game. You picked Chicago to win that game. I thought there were so many positives, and what I wanted to see from Chicago this week, bounce back, look great. Don't overlook the fact that you have Green Bay coming up in a relatively short period of time now in week number 16. I thought the Bears showed a lot of heart, gumption, talent, and they are absolutely ready to take care of business. I'm just calling my shot again. This showed me that they're ready to beat the Green Bay Packers in Chicago coming up in week 16. Love what I saw from the Chicago Bears.
You know, I've seen enough throughout the course of the year to feel comfortable saying I felt comfortable thinking that the Bears would handle business on the road. Now, obviously, you get another crack at it next week with the Packers coming to your house, but let's dive in a little bit on today against this Browns team in some real Chicago-type weather. So the Chicago offense got to showcase today their super weapon, for lack of a better phrase, in Caleb Williams. I remember when I was in Kansas City, and it was a balmy 9 degrees, and it was a 1 o'clock kickoff or whatever it was, and the wind was whipping through Arrowhead. And I looked at Mike Kafka, our quarterback coach at the time, and I said, so are we going to change up our game plan at all in terms of what we're thinking in the passing game? And he looked me dead in the eyes. He laughed in my face, and then he pointed to a guy warming up with number 15 on it. He said, that guy throws right through the wind. Yeah. In Chicago, you've got a quarterback that can throw right through the wind. Not only that, he's getting more confident week to week. The defense showed up in a big way today. 3 points total for the Cleveland Browns.
I'm not sure, but ain't this a dude who used to play defensive end for the Rams? He was nice, if I'm not mistaken.
Who had a 350-yard passer last week. A team not short on confidence at all offensively. And obviously they got some real killers on the defensive side as well. 31 points for the Bears at home. Good teams beat teams they're better than. Really good teams beat the brakes off of teams that they're better than. What we saw today was a butt whooping, old school, BTA, as the kids in the YouTube comments would say. I'll explain that to you off air.
Thank you.
But I'll just say this, the Chicago Bears, they're ready. They went and they got their water break this week against the Cleveland Browns. They get an opportunity to play the Packers at home next week. Some bully ball.
His brother played for the Rams.
Lambeau was a physical affair last week, which it was. Round 2 is always more physical because you're building on last week's momentum, hatred, lack of chemistry.
100%.
That stuff's coming in a huge way at Soldier Field.
Round 2, when you play 2 times within 3 weeks, which I love when the NFL does that.
The best.
It's incredible. It's great theater, great drama. That's done with a point and a purpose. To your point, though, and I think this is brilliant, not only did they have to win, you kind of wanted to see them kick Cleveland's ass.
Yep.
They're a better team, take all the aggression out on the Cleveland Browns, and it was a total team effort. The run game was terrific. The defense was outstanding.
It's interesting. So, again, a team with a top 10 run defense, excuse me. I think Packers do have a top 10 defense, though. But a team with a top 10 run defense, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, they didn't really stop the run. They slowed them down, but they didn't stop it. 63 yards, 57 yards. Both averaging 4 plus yards per carry. That's not really stopping a run. But they kind of contained them a little bit. But they beat them. But again, so if they get matched up with the Rams or the Seahawks, I can see the Rams and Seahawks beating them. I like the Rams and Seahawks offenses more than I like the Bears offense. And then I like their defenses more than I like the Bears defense too. And again, they both got top 10 run defenses. So
off, that arm, that accuracy, the ability to run, the physique, the toughness. And remember, the Green Bay game, Caleb was bad in the first half. Second half, he was great. Now, obviously, at the end, we could talk about the play call, we could talk about the throw, we could talk about the decision.
Or we can move on to next week.
Bingo. And you know what? I think that because they moved on this past week with how they beat Cleveland.
They showed us that they did.
They 100% proved they've moved on
hangover.
and ready to rock and roll now. And I'll tell you something else. I think a lot of people were feeling like, okay, Chicago's a house of cards, they're frauds. Nonsense. If you watch that game in that second half, they were better than Green Bay. Credit the Packers. There were 3 plays in that game where they were tough and clutch, and Green Bay earned that victory. But if you look at the signs, it's all there for Chicago to find a way to get this win and to make the playoffs and or big picture win the division. I mean, if you're a Bears fan, it's Ben Johnson and that culture, and it's unbelievable.
And you know what? It kind of feels to me like we were having a conversation.
I do think like they have a lot of room to grow. Like next year, I think we're looking at something. It depends on what they do on defense this offseason. I think they're fine on offense, but it depends on what they do on defense this offseason. They're gonna have to upgrade some pieces and retain whatever big pieces that they have. But yeah, they got a lot of potential next year. But I don't think it's Super Bowl for the Bears this year.
During the Patriots game, 21-0. I was like, Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year. You and I are kind of like, yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. Well, after today, it feels like not so much a no-brainer. And if Ben Johnson can get this team to kick ass 2 weeks.
I'm gonna be real. If the Texans went out, I'm going D'Amico Ryan's Coach of the Year. Respectfully.
Weeks in a row. Browns, you go beat the Packers at home. We could be having a different conversation. There's so many storylines at play for the Chicago Bears.
Also, when you look at the nature of the NFC, and this is why I like raising the bar in Chicago, because my goal for the Bears, I picked them preseason to make the playoffs. You want this season, at the end of the day, to say,
Lions might miss playoffs.
2026 Chicago Bears can represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Like that's the goal. Landscape of the NFC, right? Why not the Bears? And I don't want to sit here, oh, Adam, they just beat the Cleveland Browns. No, it's the response and how they lost. Caleb throws that pass, right? It wasn't the right decision, didn't get enough on the fastball. The bounce back is there. The schedule for Chicago is quote unquote difficult. All these teams, Kyle, go through it. They have to find a way to beat Chicago. Like, someone might look at that schedule and say 0-3. I'm saying 2-1 minimum for the Chicago Bears.
And you know what you can look at it one of two ways. It's a mindset. As the great Patrick Mahomes used to say, when I'd be there watching him operate week to week, he'd always tell his guys, it's a mindset. And I think that's a perfect way to approach these final 3 weeks. Green Bay Packers, San Francisco 49ers, Detroit Lions. Oh, you're just telling me we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. We're playing playoff teams, not only just like wild card. These are playoff teams. You get in that mindset, you get in your tunnel, and you launch into outer space. And where you end up just comes down to a little bit of luck, a lot of physicality, and the Chicago Bears have that on their side this year. Like you said, 2-1. That's all you got to go. And a couple weeks ago, it was you got to go 4 out of 7. And now we're at the 2-1 mark. You beat the Packers. You look up in a couple weeks, you're going to be really happy where you're at.
Yeah, and I think they're going to go a minimum of 2-1. I think they're going to beat Green Bay. And you're right, when you start talking about Coach of the Year vibe.
I think Ben Johnson is I think he's a good coach for sure. But I think if you look at strength of schedule, if the Texans went out, if the Texans are able to win out, they've gotten through the harder part of their schedule. But if they're able to win out, I'm going to D'Amico Ryans. They're 10-4. Texans are 10-5 or 9-5. And the Bears have to play in their remaining schedule. They got to play the Packers. That's a 50-50 game. They got to play the Niners 50-50 game, and they got to play the Lions 50-50 game. So they could potentially lose one more game. And if they end the season with an even schedule. But I mean, I don't even think their shoes in for Coach of the Year. I mean, Vrabel is a good candidate. Sean Payton they're not gonna give it to McVay because McVay is just consistently good. But Liam Cohen, typically they give it to coaches who overachieve. So yeah, I mean you could say variable maybe, but Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, I think like I said, if Texans win, I think D'Amico. We'll see though. But in terms of I think these are all 50-50 games. They could lose to the. You know what? Let me look at the Niners. Niners run defense. San Francisco. They're ranked 12th. They might be able to run on the Niners. In the last three, let's look at the last 3 games. Of the last 3 games. Now this is also opponent based as well, so I gotta take this into account. This could be based off of opponents. Last 3 games, San Fran is still 12th, so they average out pretty fairly. But that's not still 12th. 1, 2, 3. And they dropped down a little bit, but it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Forbes be holding on for dear life. Forbes had a nice little stretch. We'll see if he can turn it back on. They D-line good. They secondary buns. Yeah, that secondary is questionable. But who in the who the Rams played these past few games? Who in the NFC playoffs has multiple elite? Who in the NFC playoffs right now has 2 elite receivers? They played the. Now he did get cooked by Coker on the Panthers. I'm assuming Michael Wilson, Jameson Williams, and Amon Ra. Dang, yeah, they. I don't know, but they beat the Cardinals 45-17, so that's still good. Beat the Lions 41-34. That's still good. Losing to the Panthers is not good, but they should have won that game. Eagles could cook them. Ooh, Buccaneers could. If Buccaneers should stay in the playoffs, like if Buccaneers should catch them slipping. But realistically, do I think the Bucs is gonna beat the Rams? No. But Eagles can. I don't trust Niners. I don't trust Packers. Seattle could. They're capable, but they're just not a favorite, you know. But I think if I had to choose somebody, it would be between the Eagles and Seahawks. DJ Moore and Rome Odunze don't really scare me right now. Like they good receivers, but they don't really scare me. The Heat is RB1. Funny. Should be, might as well be. Everybody in NFC has 10 plus wins. Everybody on the outside is honestly done for. I mean AFC and NFC the same. There's more 10-win teams in the AFC right now. Because the Eagles 9-5, Jags 10-4. But it's gonna be very much competitive playoffs. Very much. Take away JSN, not hard. Has anybody shut down JSN this year? I think he just had his lowest game. What, it was a couple weeks ago? The Vikings. That's it. The Vikings, he had 2 for 23. He's been productive all year. His second lowest game was against the Cardinals, but early in the season. This is like an anomaly. Something had to be going on here. I guess Brian Flores. I don't know. I guess. Only thing I can say. We didn't even pass that much. Oh. Okay, that's reasonable. Okay. Interesting. So I'm guessing because they got 4 picks, they were just getting set up in good field position. So they really didn't have to do much in this game. That's just me using context clues. Justin Jefferson had 4 yards in this game. That's crazy. 4 yards is crazy. Meanwhile, Rodgers and Murphy allowed 300 to A.J. Brown and Devontae. But Jason still goes off. Same thing happened in the second Cardinals game. See time of possession here. 34 minutes. Played the Cardinals 44-22. 5 for 93. 5 catches ain't nothing crazy, but you know, it's just his yards per target be tough. Like his depth of route is pretty good. They don't just send him on short routes all day. Like he actually be going down the field. Drop it here because these are monetizable. When did they post this stuff? This was yesterday. Interesting. Okay. JJ dropped the touchdown. Wow. The reaction's going. It's going. No complaints. Interesting. I'm on for 2 hours. I think I'm gonna call it a stream, fellas. I'm gonna call it. I reacted to all of these except this one, but I watched the Bears one on the other channel. So, get ready, start posting. Everyone's talking about Phillip, just for him to play solid. You know, it's hyping him up. Both sides of the team play good though. They play good enough as a team, which I can commend. All right, fellas. I appreciate y'all, man. I'll probably be back on tonight after the game tonight, and I'll do a reaction to the game. So we're gonna shoot for 10 p.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Central. So we'll shoot for somewhere around then. Catch y'all boys later. It was good kicking it, man. Appreciate all y'all, man. good talking points for sure. Like, their strings way more often. All right, well, y'all boys be blessed. Take care of yourselves.